And we're back. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Thankfully, OBS disconnected after the game, after the series did wrap up. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoyed that Dark versus Oliveira matchup. It was so back and forth, the pendulum swinging back and forth as well. But if I want to be critical of anyone, it has to be Dark. Again, Dark, he was just being a little bit too wasteful with his lurkers, with his army. Too many expensive losses for him, and we saw Oliveira just trade so damn well. He didn't give up. Very tenacious play out of Oliveira to just never give up, never surrender, and overcome and overpower Dark in the end. GG, well played Oliveira. He advances on in the tournament. Also, thank you so much everyone that stuck around. We did end up losing half of our viewers. Smurge, Papi Smurge. We'll get him back, Papi. We'll get him back. It's okay. Copium. I do apologize. Again, our internet was fine. Like, we were still in game. I could still talk in chat. It was just unfortunately our connection to the Twitch server did go down, so I had to restart OBS, and yeah, now we're back. Now we are back. And we can quickly go over the brackets. We already have our next series, as you saw on that previous scene. Let's see if we can move this around a little bit. Okay, we're good. All right, from the top, Clem did take down SOS 2-0, and Clem also took down Cyan 2-1. Big shout to Cyan. Cyan took a game off of Clem. Very nicely done. Big shout to Cyan, as he did go down, but he made Clem work for it, as Clem is going to be going up against Oliveira in a TVT. Meanwhile, Skillus took down Coffee. Creator took down Estrella. Skillus versus Creator going on in a PvP just underneath us to find out who makes it onto the semifinals. Meanwhile, we're scrolling down a little bit further from here as well, as we have PvPs that are ongoing. We have Showtime versus Hero, and Max Pax took down Björn 2-1. He also took down Shin as well in the previous round. So some solid performances here so far from our players, and we'll reposition this after. But something that you may have noticed, Dark did fall in the quarterfinals. Sorry, in the round of, that was the round of 16. That was the round of 16, Papi. Ay. Did fall in the round of 16, and that is the end of Zerg representation in the tournament. Only Protoss and Terran remain, which is typically the case here. Whenever Dark or Solar were to fall, there typically isn't that much high population when it comes to Zerg players in the events, and that Dark, he was the only one. he was the Zerg hope. Now only Protoss and Terran left. Let's find out which Protoss and Terran will advance on and face off in the finals. I would hope that we avoid a mirror matchup. That's my only hope. No mirror matchup in the finals. Let's get a PvT going. As here we go, we're getting into a TVT, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the Chinese Terran player representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming. It is Oliveira. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And this also just goes to show the caliber of the players in this tournament. All the players that are left, they could all be champions. They could all win the event itself. We have Max Pax, we have Showtime, we have Hero, we have Classic, Clem, Björn, Oliveira, Cure. All these players are all, they're all champions in their own right. They can all take it in the end, so it could be anyone's tournament. That's the power of KungFu Cup. Again, KungFu Cup, it brings together the best players of every single region. We did miss out on a couple of other Zergs, I should say. Every now and then we get Cyril. Last week, I believe the KungFu Cup champion was Cyril, if I'm not mistaken. But Cyril wasn't here this week. Rainer, he's busy playing League of Legends. he's doing what he does best. Playing League of Legends. Shaking my head, Rainer. Shake it. Este Rainer. And likewise, I believe Solar wasn't in the bracket. Let me just double check. Was Solar here? There was Shin. Shin did get knocked out. Rex was knocked out. Yeah, Solar wasn't here. So when it comes to the top Zerg players, it was only Shin and Shin and Ragnar. What? It was only Shin and Dark. Shin, Dark, and Wayne, I should say. The others were MIA, and now we're getting into our TVT. It is going to be double gas openers all around. Actually, never mind. It's going to be a double gas opener here from Clem. Meanwhile, Oliveira did go for a Rax expand into a much faster CC on the low ground. That's why the CC has so much more progression. So an economic opener out of Oliveira, a safe opener, and an aggressive opener out of Clem, as he's opening up double Cyclone. Oh my god. Shin yes, the Shin Ramen, Bobby, the Shin Ramen. Fun fact, I will have some ramen after this. I will make some instant noodles after the cast, after the tournament. Yeah. So opening up double Cyclone, we have 2 more Cyclones behind this as well. Now this doesn't mean it has to be mech. When it comes to the new Cyclone, they do have a pretty pivotal role in the early game of TVP and, well, even TVZ and TVT. They are, yeah, pretty all-around units early on, and we'll see how aggressive Clem can be with them as he makes his next wave, and he could even make a wave of a 5th and 6th Cyclone as well. Back at home, Oliver is working towards his tank setup. Initial tank production, Viking as well. Very standard composition here out of Oliveira. Very traditional to go tank Viking into maybe even Ravens as well. Meanwhile, Clem is looking to be the aggressor. We saw him go for the double gas opener, for example. And with that, he's got an abundance of Cyclones. He's getting into Banshee production as well. Again, very aggressive composition available here. And soon Clem is going to be moving out. As there is the add-on swap, we have a safety tank. Getting into a very fast 3rd CC, by the way. Oh my god. Very greedy play, very economic play out of Oliveira. He just wants to get into the mid game. He just wants a longer game. But can he get there? With the add-on swap, we do have that Raven on the way alongside Interference Matrix. Likewise, Clem working on his own Raven upgrade as well, as he is now moving out. So it's going to be a double-pronged attack. We have Cyclones from one side. We have the Banshee as well. And we'll see what we can get done. We have a Viking and a tank, though. Like, the tank to deal with the Cyclones, we have the Viking to deal with the Banshee. There is no cloak. Uh-oh. We'll see if we can get any damage done. The Banshee does reveal itself. Does get 1 SCV here. 2 SCVs even. 3 at the natural. Good stuff. And even up to 5 SCVs before going down. Again, we had an army. We had the tools to defend, but we weren't in position. Oliveira, he was not expecting, I mean, he hasn't scouted. Oliveira, he didn't open up Reaper. Oliveira, he hasn't seen a damn thing, so he wasn't in position. 5 workers go down. Well worth it here for Clem. A good amount of damage is dealt. The Banshee also scouted the position as well of the army, and Clem is just going to be waiting to catch anything out in the center of the map as he goes for his own 3rd TC. Significantly later than that of Oliveira. Oliveira already working on an orbital. Clem still working on his base. Ramen man, yeah, that's him. As I do go for a scan into the main base, Oliveira just trying to get a read on what's going on. Does confirm the bio. He also sees the timing of the 3rd. He knows how late it is, so he knows he's safe to expand and take his own, as this scan reveals the timing of the 3rd as well. Clem getting in position, gonna try and punish that base or delay it if possible. Goes to the Raven. Oh my god, barely does not get the Raven in the end. Stim isn't done, so Oliveira is having a hard time engaging. But the tanks are slowly leapfrogging forward. The rest of the army is arriving here again. Clem, he wants to deny this 3rd while he takes his own. And with these Ravens, disables are going to be a big part of this fight. Clem, he does have a Viking lead. There's that first disable, and Oliveira, he has to give up. He has to back off and give up on this position. Tank is going to go down. Clem just zoning that Raven away, and we keep pushing. Oh my god. Another tank is going to fall, and Oliveira's in a lot of trouble. 2 tanks go down. 0 tanks are left. And this could just be it. As Clem pushes towards the natural. We have 1 tank coming out of the production. But we have another disable ready for it. Yeah, we have to collapse. Big disables from Oliveira as well. He sims on 40, pulls the boys, but he's pushing into a meat grinder, and so much damage is being done. The Vikings land, the tanks, they do get out of the disable as well. And this is going to be it. GG gets called. Clem takes game number 1. GG, well played. Again, things very quickly escalating out of control. Oliveira was fine until he lost his first tank. And then his second tank. Those 2 tanks were crucial for the defense of Oliveira. And a lot of it, like, there's so many layers to what just happened. Because Oliveira he only had 1 Viking, because he didn't have air control, he couldn't actually zone away the Ravens. He couldn't really fight for control of the air. He was forced back. And if I want to be a little bit critical of Oliveira, he was late to unsiege. You can micro against disables if you are aware of it in time. You can unsiege your tanks and you can pull back. It's very difficult to do, to be fair. It is very difficult to do. But Oliveira, he was unable to save his tanks. Once they went down, that was it. GG. GG, well played. Again, the killer instinct from Clem was on point. And now we're getting into game number 2. Getting into that second game into hard lead. He'll be out of Clem, not out of Control. Control is also a Terran player. Fun fact. There you go. It all makes sense. As spawning in the top left-hand corner, hopefully that leave Control alone. Don't be inside him. In the top left-hand corner of hard lead, we have the Chinese Terran player representing Dragon Kaizi Gaming down in this series. Can he fight back? It is Oliveira. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is Clem. We go. Lem too strong. True. Unfortunately, he's not on Clan Lem on America. He needs to work on that. But now, though, once again, a double gas opener out of Clem. Likewise, double gas out of Oliveira. So this time, Oliveira isn't being too greedy, and this makes sense on hard lead. Rush distance by ground is short. Very aggressive plays on this map in general, so Oliveira is going to be respecting Clem a little bit more here. Maybe even fearing him. I need to like start working on different phrases. I've noticed over the past week. I mean, I used to say it all the time. I mean, I used to, you know, it's my go-to. I need to stop saying out of control. I need to say like, he can't handle. I don't know. It's becoming too much to handle. He's growing so big. I need to come up with another phrase because I have noticed myself. I say too much, man. I say too much. It's applicable, to be fair. Like it happens when things escalate and one player snowballs and the other player doesn't. But yeah, I'll work on that. But also at the same time, I'm a big fan of Control. Big fan. Those who don't know, Control is a Korean Terran player. Did this year come out of the military once again. He did come out of the military and he was being a little bit active. I want to say he joined a new team. He joined Infected for a while. He was streaming, but I haven't seen Control for like a month or two. So I hope he's okay. Good friend of the channel. Good friend. So we're getting into our openers. And we do have quite a difference here as well. Once again, Clem is going to be opening up Cyclone. Getting into reactor to marine production. Meanwhile, we do have Oliveira instead going for a much faster, or going for a 1-1-1, and going for Hellions initially instead, before going for his add-ons. Tech Lab is on the way. This could be for a tank first once again, or we could be seeing an add-on swap instead into Raven production. We'll see what kind of direction Oliveira goes in. Could be a tank into even a medevac drop as well. There it is. Tank is on the way. Show us the medevac as well. Oliveira, I believe he wants to turn the tables on Clem. He wants to be the aggressor this time instead. There it is. Oh. I was purposely waiting here for the medevac, but there it is. Medevac is on the way, so we're going for a tank drop. Reaper does get shut down by the Hellion. Very nice movement there from Oliveira. And back at home, Clem, likewise, as Oliveira is working towards a tank drop, Clem is working towards a cyclone drop. Oh boy. So both players going for different forms of aggression. Each form has their own advantages. Of course, Oliveira, once he does siege up, especially within range of the production, it's going to be very difficult to actually engage. Meanwhile, Clem's army is more maneuverable overall. And we'll see who comes across who, as the drops will miss each other. Cyclones are getting in position and up. Okay, they do spend their lock-ons on the Hellion. The medevac as well. Oliveira pushing on forward, looking to get within range of that Rax. At the same time, a Marine drop into the natural. But we do have reinforcements. We do have reinforcements back at home, but SCVs are going down. 2 SCVs in total. Clem does back off. Meanwhile, Oliveira within range of the Rax. He's going to force his opponent to engage. Yeah, the Rax has to reposition. Clem knows he cannot take control of that. He has to give it up. And he has his own tank on the way. Ravens as well. So I would give the edge here to Oliveira, but he did lose some SCVs across the map. Oh! Ooh, as the lock-ons do take down the medevac. They almost bring down the tank as well. Oliveira, he has to back off. He has to lick his wounds. Is there a world? Can he come across the drop? Up! Uh-oh. The drop has been found, and this is going to be quite an expensive loss here for Clem as well. This medevac will escape. The Raven! No! Why are we here? Bit of mispathing, but the Raven survives. So does the medevac, and Clem, he can race back home, and he can repair. It's okay. He can repair. As this time, it's going to be Clem racing into that third CC. So is Oliveira. Clem's slightly faster than his opponents, but only by a couple of seconds. As both players are looking to take their thirds. Just going to be building up that tank count, building up the Raven count as well, looking at the upgrades. Both players do have disables available. And the tank count is in favor of Oliveira, but that's because of the opener. Remember, Oliveira did go tank first, and Clem did spend factory production on the Cyclones instead. So overall, I want to say that the army is slightly stronger and slightly in favor of Oliveira, but it's TVT and it's highly dependent on positioning. On the positioning of the army and the engagements themselves. The Raven control. Oh, as Clem actually has a third Raven as well. Going up to 3, Oliveira only staying on 2. Before getting into those Vikings, and here we go, the armies are about to clash. Oliveira is the first to siege. He does zone Clem away. And even though Clem had a faster third base, he won't be able to make use of it. He won't be able to actually mine from it. As Oliveira is landing his own third. And Clem is going to have to rotate over towards the left-hand side. Up.
Game paused.
As we are getting a bit of a pause. Hopefully everything is okay. Oh, looks like we're not the only ones with some stream issues. Looks like the Chinese stream, the official WTL stream, they're going to be sorting things out. Yeah. Going to be sorting out some maybe Twitch issues on their end. Oh, okay. And we will take this moment to calm things down. Hold on. I was just closing the door. So it's getting cold, Bobby. Getting cold. Yeah, from here, things have been pretty close, pretty neck and neck. There have been slight advantages here and there for both players, right? Where Oliveira, he's up in tanks. Clem, he's up in up in Ravens. And Oliveira is able to get a slightly faster third base as well, but didn't really deal any economic damage, so it's still pretty hard to call how this game is going to go. Still very close, still very close. Personally, I hope that we get an ace match. I hope we go the distance to game 3. But we'll see if we can get there. As I guess we can take this moment to go over the bracket once again to see if there's any other updates going on and what exactly is happening. Can I zoom out actually? Can I? No, I cannot. Okay. I also just realized it isn't just there are only Protoss and Terran. I don't know why my brain thought that Cure was in the brackets, but I just realized that it's a TVT here between Clem and Oliveira, and it's pure PvPs everywhere else. It's Skilless versus Creator, Showtime versus Hero, and then Max Packs at the bottom of the bracket. I didn't realize that it's just pure PvP everywhere else, which means we have a Protoss confirmed for the finals, and this series that we have here, Clem versus Oliveira, it's to determine who is going to be the non-Protoss representative. Who's going to be the, not just the Terran, but just the non-Protoss in general. Who can wave that flag against the might of the Kala, of the Tal'Darim, of all the Protoss out there. It's all up to either Clem or Oliveira, one or the other. Can they do it? Can they go the distance and go all the way? It's a massive burden to bear. Definitely, it's it's a lot on the shoulders of our players. Best of luck, best of luck. Now, how good is their TVP? That's the question. Can we avoid another Clem versus Max Packs finals, which does happen quite a lot in the ESL Open Cups? But here we go. It looks like WTL stream is recovering. And we are getting back into this.
Game resumed.
Beautiful. Getting back into our game. Here we go. Oh, so we're going to be settling back in. Cyclone's going for a run by. There's nothing here. Oh my god. There's nothing in position. A couple of SCs are going to be going down. Meanwhile, Oliveira, he ignores that run by. He's going across the map instead. He wants to try to push up the ramp. Likewise, Clem is in position. Now, Oliveira, he is up in Vikings. So Clem has to respect that. He has to be very careful with his own Ravens. Where we're going in. No. Auto touch are thrown down. Oliveira baited into wasting his energy, as that was not an actual dive. So good move out of Clem as he goes for his own marine counterattack. But Oliveira, he is back at home to defend. Does have his reinforcements, is in position. Yeah, he does siege in time. Clem backs off. Uh-oh. As now it's going to be Clem's turn to push out. Third base up and running. Clem ahead in SCVs. Ahead in workers. Looking at the units tab. Oliveira, he still has the lead in tanks slightly. As Oliveira is getting ready for a drop into the main. I don't blame him, especially with this Zolnaga being under control of Clem. But Clem instead rotating around. Clem actually doesn't have many medevacs. He only has 2. So he takes down one of those medevacs of his opponent. Big disables as well, as Clem is going to push on forward. And he's within range of these tanks. Vikings are going to be going up. Oliveira taking control of the skies, taking control of the air. The tank will fall and Clem has to back off. So far, good defense out of Oliveira. Able to maintain himself. Clem is going to have to back off and rotate around. Show the clean feed. No, but the clean feed is the feed with issues though. Ah. Not like this. Also, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? El topping, papi, el topping. Big part of the Latin American scene. Hope everything's going well. Hope you're doing well as well. Topin used to write articles for La Espida. La Espida. It's been a while. What have you been up to, Bobby? What have you been up to in this time? As the game is just settling down, you know, Clem is getting his 4th base up and running, so is Oliveira. Clem going to be rotating towards the 3rd base of his opponent. And the tank's looking a little bit exposed. We could try to dive on in. Vikings and Ravens are making their way over, though. Oliveira getting here just in time. Meanwhile, Clem coming in from the right-hand side. He gets on top of the sensor tower. The planetary isn't done. The SCVs doesn't go for the workers, but he does go for the tanks. 1 tank will fall as Clem gets the hell out of there. Meanwhile, Clem forcing his way in towards the left-hand side as well. The disables, they do pop up. Oh. Have a bit of a standstill here. Oliveira, he's going to edge his way closer. The boys are being pulled. Oliveira collapsing on these tanks, and the tanks are exposed. They're all on their own. They're all going to go down. A big cleanup here from Oliveira. At the same time, though, Clem, he dives into the mineral line. 30 SCVs. 30 SCVs go down in the main, and of course here in the fence as well, as the boys were pulled. Oliveira, his economy is crippled. And even though this was a costly trade out of Clem, even though he lost all of his tanks, Clem can remax. Oliveira cannot. 2-2 finishing up for both players. For Oliveira even. The planetary out of range. Finally, we'll clean up those Marines. But now the onus is on Oliveira to counterattack. He does have a tank lead. He's up in tanks. Up in Vikings. Even in Ravens. But yeah, he doesn't like his chances. I don't blame him. Clem's position here a little bit too strong. Clem getting ready for another drop. We're just sending Marines across the map on both sides. He wants the tank. He doesn't quite get it. Has to back off. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, Marines a takedown. Oh god. A cooldown supply. Takes down a super depot. Supply blocking Oliveira for a moment longer. As the drops are being cleaned up. 3-3 on the way. Clem taking more bases, and again, things are still looking dire here for Oliveira. He's still got a lot of probing to do, or he's got a lot of SCVs to make. He has to catch up in the economy. His army is still looking strong. He's on 11 tanks. With his air control, he's going into Liberators. You do love to see it. Here we go. This push has potential. Oliveira, though, he's in position. He's able to keep up with the movement of Oliveira. And I'm going to be rotating around. Likewise, Oliveira going for Liberator Harass. It's not with the main army. Tanks are rotating around. Wait, did Lips die? Wait, what? They did. Okay, never mind. This turret has 1 kill on it, and I think that's the Liberator. Did go down to the turrets. Did not get into the mineral lines. Where did the other Lips go down? Could have come across these Marines. Regardless, them pushing out on the right-hand side. Both armies have maxed out. Decent disables. We only have 1 Raven each. Yeah, as Oliveira, he ignores the army, goes straight for the 3rd base. And Oliveira is the first to siege. Massive anti-armor missiles. Oh my god, covering every single Marine. And Oliveira, he dives on the tanks. He takes out every single tank. The Marines as well. Oh my god, and Oliveira, he has done it. He's broken at the 3rd base. He takes care of all the tanks. And now Clem is on the back foot. Again, Oliveira outpositioned Clem. A big anti-armor missile as well. Drops are being called out, and Clem will lose his third. A massive moment there from Oliveira. Clem, what does he have left? He has a handful of tanks. The big thing that Clem has going his way is his Vikings. He's got a lot of Vikings, but that's all he really has left. As Oliveira, he dives on the 4th base. Takes down the planetary, and there's nothing that Clem can do. He cannot push into this. He has to go for a counterattack instead. Now, Oliveira could either commit to the base trade or come back home. And he does turn back around. He knows that a base trade is the best case scenario for Clem. It's Clem's best chance of winning. So Oliveira, he respects that. Pivots back around. Liberators on the way. We're making 3 libs at a time. Oh my god. Again, Clem just flexing his air control. Meanwhile, Oliveira, he's got 0 Vikings left. Oliveira does have a more maneuverable army, but in a head-to-head fight, I want to favor Clem. I want to favor Clem with those zips. Oh no! Don't go for the Doom Drop! Oh my god. It's crazy. Not like this. Clem is ready for it. Here we go. We scan the center base. Tanks have been spotted. Liberators are going to be sieging, and I don't think we can really dive on this. We do get on top of the tanks. We're getting on top of libs as well. But these Liberators, they're going ham. Oliveira trying to force his way through. He does manage to break the defensive line. He doesn't kill the Liberators, but he does clean up the tanks. Oh, but that was a scrappy fight. That was not pretty to look at. As we have Liberator range on the way, continued Liberator production as well. This is still very close. The tank will go down for free. Again, Oliveira, he has the better economy. He's expanding towards the right-hand side. He's double expanding even. Taking 2 bases at once. Clem, likewise, he's a little bit desperate. He picks up his main base. He lands it as the 4th. And the Liberators are getting a lot done. Seven SCVs. As we can see, Oliveira, he wants to try to abuse this position because there's no sensor tower, but Clem, he's here, he's ready for it. Does siege up. Big tank volleys are going to be going up. Oliveira, I'm not too sure if he can really break through. He is, though. He barely does break through the line. GG gets called. He gets on top of the tanks and the Liberators as well. Whew. And Oliveira ties up the series 1-1. GG. Things are looking dire. Things weren't looking too hot for Oliveira, but in one swift move, back when he was pushing on the right-hand side, he was able to get on top of the tanks as they were unsieged. He was able to outposition Clem, and there was that moment where he got a massive anti-armor missile on all those Marines. Clem, he lost everything, and Oliveira was able to, take a lead and extend it as well. Run with it. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Oliveira. As we have the ace match, we're getting into game 3. It all ends here on Hecate. Again, there can only be one Terran, in this tournament, as every other match has concluded. For some updates, Creator did 2-0 skillless. Creator is waiting in the semifinals for the winner of this series. Meanwhile, Showtime took down Hero 2-1 in a PvP. Showtime is lying in wait, looking to face off against Max Pax in the lower semifinals. I'm excited for that. The last time we casted Showtime versus Max Pax, it was, I want to say like a month ago, and Showtime, I think it was in KungFu Cup as well, and Showtime did look dominant over Max Pax in the PvP, but it was in the previous map pool. I should iterate, it was in the previous map pool, and that did influence the game, so I'm curious how the rematch is going to shape up as we're getting into the ace match and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Hecate. We have the Chinese Terran player representing Dragon Kai Z Gaming. It is Oliveira. And spawning. In the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. The reason why I bring up it was the previous map pool for that. We'll get into it. I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say about Showtime versus Max Packs and how their previous series played out and the reason why it did the way that it did. We can settle into this TVT. It's all good. We have plenty of time for PvPs later on. Don't you worry. You know how much you love PvP. Personally, I do. Personally, I do love it. One of my favorite mirror matchups. Just because of how wild and aggressive it can be. Until then, though, we do have a double gas opener out of Oliveira. And Clem looking to be more economic, going for a Rax Expand with a single gas geyser. So Clem going to be more economic and greedy. We have Oliveira opening up safe. With this safe opener, he can turn that safetiness into more aggression as well. With his faster factory. Here we go. Also, I have to catch up with Toppin. Buenos días, son las 8:30 de la mañana, papi. Ah, buenos días. Hope you enjoy your breakfast. Hope you get some food. I am starving. I have not had dinner today, so I will be getting some food after the tournament does end. Watching whatever I can these days. Oh, okay. Fair enough, fair enough. For those who don't know, as we're going for a proxy starport, it looks to be a proxy starport. For those who don't know, Toppin, he was actually a writer for La Espida. La Espida was basically the equivalent of Team Liquid, TL, for the Latin American scene, for the Latino Americans in the chat. And Toppin was a big part of that. I believe Toppin also did help admin and help organize things alongside Darking and Vortex. You know, together, they did put in a lot of work under the guise of Demon Swap for La Espida in years past. Nowadays, I believe La Espida is no longer a website. Unfortunately, it was a really big part of StarCraft history and the StarCraft community, especially in the Latin American region. But over time, the Latin American scene did shrink a little bit, which is a shame. It is a shame that such a massive, actually, like the Latin American region was bigger than Europe. It was crazy, like the amount of participation and the community and the viewership and everything. Good times. Regardless, we're getting into this TVT, and we do see Oliveira going to be coming out on top here in the trade. Again, he went for a double gas opener. He is ahead in units early on. Clem going for the proxy starport, going for a proxy liberator, actually. Oh my god. Proxy lib is on the way. But Oliveira can't quite keep pushing as the safety cyclone, the defensive cyclone has come out. In time, Clem will hold. And Oliveira, can he deal with the lib? How much anti-air do we have as he goes straight for a third CC? Oh my god. Looks like Oliveira, he recognized that it was a more economic opener out of Clem, so he wants to catch up. He's going to be catching up with a faster third. But it's not over. Cyclones pushing out. Oliveira, he does have control of the high ground. Oh! Big volleys going off on those Cyclones. As the Liberator is en route. The Marines, no, they load up for a drop and they have to turn back around, come back home. And that is 0 mining in the main base. Oh, so the SCV will fall. And back at home, Clem is chilling. He's working on his own third CC. It is slightly later than Oliveira's, but it's on the way nonetheless. As Clem tries to push in, but the tank shots are a little bit too good. As we get more SCVs down here at the natural. 3 kills already on this lib. Doing so much. Not really killing too many workers, but denying a lot of mining time. And this early on, this is quite impactful as, yeah, the Marines cannot engage. Oh my god! As Clem, he edges ever closer. Being so annoying with this Liberator. Oh my god. Oh gee, oh my god. As the Lib does one-shot Marines. One Marine does make it out alive though. Good juggling out of Oliveira towards the end there, and we'll clean it up. Oh, and Clem will back off. Now that the dust has settled, Clem is going to back off. Getting into his 3-1-1 setup. Double E-bays for double upgrades. Likewise, Oliveira doing the same. And Oliveira should be the first to expand and take his third, but we'll see if he will. Clem is aware that... Oh no, actually, he did not see the timing of the third CC. So Clem not fully aware of how fast or how slow Oliveira is going to be expanding. He's just going to be chilling back at home. Getting into his tank production. Scan is going to reveal the timing of that CC. Likewise, the scan also reveals the main base of Oliveira, so both players are aware of each other's production. They are aware of each other's third base timings. And Oliveira is just pushing on the right-hand side, trying to get a read on when the third base will be taken. It's looking quite exposed here. There's potential for damage. Likewise, Clem doing the same, moving out. Yeah, and as time goes on, we have a good tank positioning here. The Marines are getting in position as well. This third base looking very fortified. And Oliveira still staying on 2. Still not expanding. He's going to try and push in. He's going to get a couple of SCVs. 3 workers. Not bad. But now he's aware that he's slightly behind. That his opponent's mining and Oliveira isn't. Is a little bit brutal. So Oliveira's not going to be landing his own on location. Scanning, he sees that the army is missing. It's somewhere, and he found it. Did find that in the end. Medevac is going to get shut down. Good pick off from Clem. Very nice pick off as Clem does turn back around. And he's getting his third base fully saturated. And working towards soon 2-2. And the game is going to settle from here. We're just calming things down. Again, because of Clem's faster third, he's got a higher worker count, he's got a better economy, and that translates into a larger army as well. That's why Clem is slightly ahead in army supply. But only slightly. Like, it's not the biggest of advantages, and not going to be the most impactful thing once the armies do clash. 4 CC on the way already for Oliveira. It's on the way as well for Clem. So again, things are going to be calming down. Oh! As we sim on forward, dive on the Cyclone. We get one. One Cyclone falls alongside the Hellion. Yeah, just these little trades here and there. Nothing too major. I mean, these Cyclones and Hellions, they do get outscaled as the game goes on, so I'm sure Clem wants to get rid of them at some point. Wants to refine his army. And yeah, on Hecate, we're just going to be chilling, getting into 4 bases, cutting the map in half. It is a large map, and as a result, you can see that we have a lot of room to traverse. Armies can be caught out of position. Cyclones finally being hunted down, at least one of them. Scan reveals that the tanks are back at home. Will Clemmy goes for a big run by. Can he get on top of the CC? Oh! Oh my god. CC taking some hits, but it's okay. We're okay. 4th base is going to be landed. Nothing to worry about. As both players are going to be taking their forts, and both players will be maxing. No rush, 10 minutes. Let's go. We saw some small skirmishes here and there, that is true. We saw some harassment, but overall, nothing too major. The main army has been spotted, and Clem is going to be rotating back over towards his third base. Oliveira, he scans. He sees that Clem is in position. Oliveira will back up. We do have a drop heading towards the 4th. There is no sensor tower. Uh-oh. We could maybe even catch some tanks. This do go straight down the center towards the natural. At the same time, we're going in. Oh, bold move here from Oliveira. Autotucks are thrown down, but the tanks, they just wreak havoc on the Marines. for both players. Looks like Oliveira, he barely breaks through. Yeah, the tanks of Clem are going down, but the Marines get cleaned up. A costly trade, and quickly checking here, Clem did take down more Marines. Did I misread that? Hold on, let's try again. Okay, yeah, trading tanks for tanks. Oliveira losing 4, actually. Oh my god. Or killing 4, even. So trading a little bit better. In the end, Oliveira, he will take a tank lead. Clem quickly catches back up, and... Okay, we're gonna calm down. We're gonna calm down from there. I do think it was pretty important as well that Clem was able to slow down some of those reinforcements. Now Oliveira going for a split push instead. Up. Doesn't quite achieve much though, as he has to back off, and I do think that potentially both players are going to be waiting for either player to take a fifth. Fifth bases are going to be much more exposed and much more difficult to hold on to. At the moment, you can see that Oliveira, he's rotating over towards the left. He knows that Clem has split his army in half, essentially, and Oliveira is hoping to take advantage of that, as Oliveira has very little at home to defend. Speaking of, Clem does sneak out with a drop. And Oliveira, he wants to try to force his way up this ramp. Marines have arrived. We do have some reinforcements. Fifth base is going to be saved. We're going to be going into the main. Oh my god. There are turrets in position. First medevac does go down, but this is pulling Oliveira all the way back home. Oliveira able to take advantage of this ramp though. He does not get it. He does barely get a tank. Trading a tank for a tank. As Clem is now pushing out. Looking at the army, Clem does have air control with additional Vikings, so he's ahead in Vikings. Because of that, he has Ravens. He has Liberators once again. Clem did lose his Ravens in the previous fight. Oliveira still has 1, which could come into play. Oliveira, he may be down in Vikings, but he's up in tanks. And he is rotating towards the would-be fifth base of Clem. Tanks are sieging. Good concave here set up from Oliveira. But the Liberators, they break the concave. Take down a tank. And you can see Clem just bully the tanks back. Getting a second tank as well. There's a reason why it's all about air control in TVT. Initially, it's about like tanks, true tank positioning, but Liberators, Ravens, as a result, Vikings are that much more important. The tanks do siege first. We do dive on top of those tanks. 3 tanks do go down, and big anti-armor storm. We take down the Libs. Liberators will fall, but an overextension out of Oliveira. He's going to lose every single one of those Marines. Oliveira dropping in supply. He at least cleaned up the lib count. Suddenly Oliveira does have a Viking control, or does have the Viking advantage. It's a risky move. He went for it. As we have a fusion going the way, Oliveira, he's working towards his own Liberators. That's his plan. Ravens on the way. Well, Clem does get his 5th up and running, so does Oliveira. So does Oliveira, as both armies will max once again. Just gonna be backing off. Oliveira, he's still ahead in Vikings. Still about the engagements. Then moving out with a double drop, taking a 6th base. Oliveira, it looks like he wants to dive in. He does catch a couple of Marines. Loses a tank. Does shave off some Marines, though. Oliveira even taking the center base. The half gold. Clem going for a big run by here. He catches a tank. He's going to get into the mineral line as well. Oliveira very exposed. This is pulling him out of position. At the same time, Clem pushing on forward on the right-hand side. 10 SCVs go down. 18 even. Do have a big anti-armor missile on the Vikings. Oliveira is being forced back. He loses control of the skies, loses his economy as well. Clem. Yeah, he's just taking advantage of Oliveira here, taking down a tank. Oliveira can remax, but this was a really good moment here for Clem, as Oliveira has a lot to recover for, a lot to recuperate. He has to catch up in SCVs, build up his tank count again. Oliveira does have 16 Vikings against the 20 of Clem. It's all about the sky, Terran. 20 Vikings making 5 libs at a time. Oliveira, instead of Liberators, he's going into Ravens, which they have their place, don't get me wrong. Ravens are good. Oliveira, he doesn't have the Vikings he needs yet. Not yet. I love that Clem, he hasn't scattered the... Oh, no, he does. He has. He has seen a planetary. Hasn't been able to do much about it yet. Oh, as we're going to be committing. Yeah, big anti-armor missile here onto the Vikings. Clem, though, he still has the Viking advantage. Yeah, with the help of these Liberators as well, he does take control of the skies. Bullies back the ground army, and it looks like this is just becoming too much. Clem is pushing towards the third base once again. And with all these libs, he's not being stopped. He is not being stopped, and Oliveira is losing too much too quickly. He cannot keep up with this army. Not anymore. He's going to try to come in from behind and maybe catch some reinforcements. Oof. And I guess, yeah, the only way we can do this, we go for a base trade. Does Clem... Clem is turning around? Oh my god. I mean, Clem has the better army. Here we go, Oliveira. He's just diving straight for the natural, straight for the main base. It's his only way to somehow make a game out of this. He's taking control of the production. And Clem is racing back home. All the turrets are thrown down, zoning away the Vikings. That was a lot of energy. And Oliveira, he's making more SCVs back home. CC is going to be going down. Oh, can we take down the libs? We barely can. All the Liberators go down, and Oliveira is being cleaned up. He's getting a lot done. Like, it's pretty impressive what he's been able to accomplish here in the main. But is it worth it? Is it enough is the question. As he even trades against the Vikings. Oh my god. Does trade well against the Vikings. Back at home, we have been remaxing, rebuilding. Oliveira has a pretty comparable army to his opponent still. He's far behind in Vikings. He's down in tanks. He's up in Marines. Oliveira, he's got Marines. But Clem, even though he lost a lot of his production, he still has a solid economy. Still has all these bases up and running. Oh my god, it's an orbital! So we have an orbital here as the 5th base. Gonna be going down. And we see Oliveira just sending everything to the top left. Meanwhile, Clem has maxed out. Oliveira, Jesus, how many ravens? 8 ravens. My god, I just realized just how many he had. The boys were pulled, they evacuated bottom right. There's very little mining, very limited mining going on here for Oliveira. He's trying to catch those Vikings. He wants them. He Won't quite get them. As we have Oliveira just trying to apply some pressure here to Clem. Clem is remaxed at this point. Has remaxed. Oof. Again, the one advantage that Oliveira has in the army is just the pure marine. Just how many marines he has, which means there's potential to dive on top of an unsieged army if he catches the Vikings or the Libs or the tanks. Like, there's potential here, but it's highly reliant on... Oh, so just killing workers. Like... The planetary, they're working for you, Poppy. They're trying to help you. Ah, feels planetary, man. Clem just clearing up supply, building up a larger army, getting into Ghost at this point. But Oliver, he has potential if he catches Clem out of position. But if that doesn't happen, then in a head-to-head fight, Clem will come out on top. Tanks within range. Lives once again taking down another tank. Another 2 tanks. Ah. Disables pop off. Oliveira will clean this up. But that's why we have the ghosts for the EMPs to deal with these ravens. God, how many libs do we have? 14! 14 liberators. We're looking for those EMPs. Up! Decent EMP there, grazing some of those ravens. More tanks going down to the libs. You know, Oliver, he's diving in. It's all or nothing. The disables, he gets a couple of them off. The Marines are trying to break through, but there's just too much here. Clemmy takes a decisive fight. The Ravens were not good enough. GG gets called, and Clem will take down Oliveira 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations. Congratulations to Clem as he advances on to the semi-finals. As he does make his way through, and with that, we are going to be hoping over, I believe, to the European server. GG. As we have quite a number of matchups ahead of us. We have now Clem advancing onto the semis. He's going to be facing Creator in a TVP. And we also have a PvP between Showtime and Max Packs. Here we go. Let us get ready for it. Just need to very quickly set it up. As the players have been patiently waiting. For those wondering, both semifinals are going to be casted. So if you want some more Clem action, you're like, we're not casting Clem versus Creator? We are. Just after the lower semis. Both semis are being casted and the grand finals as well. Max Packs and Showtime, they've been patiently waiting for us to finish that series before beginning. So all the casters are coming together. We're all converging. And we're all going to be covering the same series. Here we go. I'm also setting up for the other lower semis as well, and I will get predictions going. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to set up. TVP, okay, good to go. Predictions are on the way as well. Vetoes are done. We are getting ready for the upper semifinals. Prediction semifinals. Here we go. Max Packs versus Showtime. So yeah, we have our Terran representative, we have our non-Protoss representative, or our Terran representative in Clem, and he's going to be going up against a sea of Protoss, Creator, Showtime, and Max Packs. Who's going to make it to the grand finals? Who's going to be the first to make it to the finals here between these two Protoss players, these two European Protosses? We're here to find out. Let us go. If you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Predictions are open for the next 2 minutes, so place your bets on how you think this series is going to go between Max Packs and Showtime. We have a lot to talk about. Vámonos, papi, vámonos. And a big shout out to all the casters as well. We have ourselves, we have Enki casting in Spanish, we have Into the Inu in Korean, and I believe we have some other language streamers. Of course, the SC boys, the WTL boys, casting in Chinese or in Mandarin, and we have both Wardy and Roddy casting in English as well. All the community casters have come together for the KungFu Cup, as we always do, every single week. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Danish Protoss. Oh, we lost the observer. We have our Danish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is Max Packs. And spawning in the top right, we have his opponent. We have the German Protoss representing Team Big Berlin International Gaming. It is Showtime. Let's go. Let's take it. Sayo, he wasn't the observer, but Sayo, he's an admin, and I think he's going to just like wrangle together Clem and Creator. I think he's gonna go help them set up with their vetoes and all that good stuff. Big shout out to Sayo. Sayo putting in a lot of work. A lot of work for SC Boy, KungFu Cup, and WTL. Good stuff. As we're getting into our PvP, and as to be expected, Max Packs, as we load into a map where it is typically unsafe to go for a gate expand, Max Packs is going for a gate expand here on the low ground. Showtime opening up double gateway instead. Now, what I wanted to get into, in the previous map pool, we were able to cast Max Packs versus Showtime. I think it was the best of 5. And Showtime was looking damn strong, but we saw a very unique PvP. In the previous map pool, ramps were a lot more commonplace. There were a lot more commonplace in the previous map pool at the natural, which meant we saw a lot more gate expand versus gate expand. I'm talking about maps like, oh my god, Altitude, for example. Not quite Ancient Cistern. Ancient Cistern was on the low ground, but Altitude, what's the other one? Dragon Scales as well, among others. And because of that, we saw a lot of gate expands from both players. Because they were gate expands, they actually went into Stargate play, and every single game between Showtime and Max Packs, when it comes to the series I'm talking about, was Phoenix versus Phoenix, because they had to go for Stargate openers. They scouted each other, they would go into Phoenix, and they would be locked into Phoenix Wars. And that's where Showtime was able to flex his superiority in a way, in that kind of scenario. But now we're on a new map pool, and on this new map pool, ramps at the natural are more rare, which means it is very unlikely for us to end up in Phoenix Wars. It's other than Site Delta, it shouldn't really be a thing. Meanwhile, Showtime, he sees the economic opener of Max Packs, and he meets that with a gold base. I love this. I was talking about this, I think it was yesterday, when we casted Max Packs in a different PvP, and I was talking about how Hero would often punish Max Packs on Royal Blood last season by going for the gold base himself as his own natural. So even though Max Packs would open up economically, he would actually fall behind economically against Hero whenever they would play on Royal Blood, just because Hero would just be so willing to go crazy and take all the gold bases. So I love this for Showtime. I do think this is a really good way to keep up with Max Packs. With the build, with the opener, I should say. Meanwhile, Max Pax, he doesn't know what's going on. He is going for a Void Ray first. He believes he's being all in. I mean, one Stalker goes out already. Showtime snowballing out of control, forcing the overcharge. Oh my god. With his first 4 Stalkers, he's getting quite a lot done. Meanwhile, across enough, the Oracle gets in, but we have a shield battery. The Oracle barely does anything. And Showtime, he's getting a lot of damage done, at least until the Void Ray arrives. With this Void Ray, we have to respect it. We have to back off. Good kiting once again. Zealot goes down. So really good damage here from Showtime. I'm sure he would have liked to have gotten a little bit more, but he will back off. And he's getting his natural up and running. He does recall over towards the gold. And he's getting into Blink. And Max Pax doesn't know. He's checking with the Oracle. He sees the lack of expansion. He's looking for a potential hidden base or a potential proxy as well. We have a second Oracle on the way. This second Oracle tells us that Max Pax is aware that this gold base is a possibility. Even though Max Pax hasn't seen the gold, he's aware that it's a big potential factor. As a result, he's going for economic damage. 2 Oracles, 1-shot workers. There is not a lot to defend in the main. Showtime has plenty to protect the gold base, not a lot to protect the main. And here we go, the Oracles are diving in, only 1 Stalker in position. And probes are going down. Oof. 3, 4, 5 workers, 6. An insane amount of damage is done. At the same time, we have Adepts making their way towards the main. Sorry, towards the gold. Stalkers are ready. Again, Showtime, he shuts down any aggression of the gold, but he struggles in the main and will lose 7 workers. Max Pax, he takes an economic lead. I would have said that Showtime would have been ahead. He would have been ahead, but not anymore, as Max Pax, he's going for his own gold. We do have additional Stalkers in position, but another 3 workers go down. These Oracles are winning Max Pax this game, as Showtime is taking a 3rd. And he does still have a large Stalker army. Bear that in mind. He's ahead in Stalkers, and I do think that Showtime can cancel this 3rd. He has map control. He's throwing down a proxy pylon. Without shield batteries, even with this Void Ray, I don't think Max Pax can really contest against this army. Showtime, he does push forward. And it does force a cancel. Really good, really well done here by Showtime. Able to recognize that, of course, he has enough to take control of the map. Takes down 1 Stalker. He dives on the Void Ray. He will bring it down as well. Void Ray will fall. Good counter blinks here from Max Pax, but we have the overcharge, and Max Pax, he will protect his natural. Showtime rotates around, looking to deny and delay this 3rd base once again. At the same time, Oracle comes in. Showtime is paying attention. He keeps up. He does zone that Oracle away. Max Pax forced to expand here towards the south instead. Showtime still has a Stalker lead. And interesting, so Showtime doesn't throw down a Forge. No Forge, no upgrades. He throws down 4 more gateways instead. Showtime is looking to be hyper aggressive here, just doubling down on a purely gateway army. Borderline all in. Like, I know he's taking a 3rd, true, he is taking a 3rd base, but really aggressive play here out of Showtime. He wants to be in the face of Max Pax. He wants to deny that 3rd again if possible. Meanwhile, Max Pax rotating around. He has high ground vision. He's going for the main. Uh-oh. Showtime doesn't see. And does he turn back around or does he commit? He's coming back home. He spots the army. He's a little bit too late. Has to recall instead. The prism. The prism goes down. Max Pax out positioning Showtime. Stasis trap as well. Does get baited out. And that was a really strong move out of Max Pax. He doesn't kill a lot, but in killing that Warp Prism, that means that Showtime can't push. Remember, Showtime, he's ahead in Stalkers. Like, in a head-to-head fight, Showtime will win. But he's being dragged back home. Gavadep's going for a counterattack. Oh, the shots aren't lined up, unfortunately. So not getting that much damage done, only getting 1 probe. Showtime will chase this army back. Now, thankfully for Showtime, because he doesn't have a Warp Prism, he was forced to warp in defensively, so... forced to warp in at home, he does keep up with the Adept. Max Pax double expanding, getting his 3rd, and now a 4th up. Showtime, he is ahead in Stalkers, but he's about to be behind in upgrades. We gotta go here and now. How good are the Blinks gonna be? As Showtime is pushing towards that gold. Not the best engagement though. Max has the concave. The Prism has arrived, and Showtime is essentially all in with this. He needs to break Max here and now. But we're soon to have a shield battery and overcharge at the gold. Max looking to come in from behind. Showtime ignoring the army, going straight for the kill, going straight for the natural. He will snipe the Cybercore. No more Stalkers for Max. Oh, he's looking for the Prism. He was hoping the Catch a War Prism doesn't quite get it. He does have a better concave though. Does have a better engage. As armies are going to be blinking back. We have reinforcements. GG gets called. Showtime, he has too much. Max couldn't warp in any more Stalkers, and Showtime will take game number 1. Whew. GG, out positioning Max towards the end there. And again, as you mentioned, Showtime was all in. And I do really like how he played this out. I do think this is how you want to play against Max, especially on Equilibrium. You want to take that gold. You want to try to fake out an all-in as well. Try to lure Max into a false sense or into just, over-defending. Not really recognizing what's happening. And GG, well played. Game 2 is Side Delta. I wonder, are we going to end up in Phoenix versus Phoenix Wars? Are we going to end up in the Phoenix Wars? Because Side Delta means that both players are going to be willing to go for gate expands, and they're both going to be denying each other's expansions. They're both going to be delaying. We should be seeing Stargate openers, which means Phoenixes. Oh boy. Now again, because of the map pool, this is more of a rarity. But we are getting into this. We're getting into game number 2. As a reminder, it's the best of 5. One more, uno más, is all Showtime does need. And I still do favor him in the Phoenix battles, but well, we'll see. We'll see if we get there. See what kind of direction we take. Here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Side Delta, we have the Danish Protoss player. He is the best Protoss in Europe. He is, but he's struggling in this series representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is Max. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the German Protoss player representing Team Big, Berlin International Gaming. It is Showtime. Here we go. Please talking out so important. Well, I mean, again, Showtime was essentially 3-base all in that last game. 3-base all in. He didn't have a forge, no upgrades, no higher form of tech. It was just pure blink Stalker, which is why Showtime was ahead in the Stalker count. It was all or nothing for him, and it worked. He was barely able to break Max in the end. And Showtime is going for a 2-gate. Okay. We have a gate expand out of Max, a 2-gate opener out of Showtime. We are not going to be getting Phoenix Wars. It is not happening. Showtime refuses. And this could lead into a 1-base all-in. Showtime, he has a probe in the center of the map. Throws down the Cybercore. Are we that crazy? Are we going to 2-base all-in on Side Delta where it is easier to defend? There's the pylon. Are we throwing down the proxy robo? Mate, Showtime, he's wild. Of all maps in the map pool, this is not where I would have assumed Showtime would have proxy roboed, but we'll see what it's going to be. Is it a robo, a Stargate, or the Gateway? Cybercore is about to finish up. Adepts are on the way. And it is a robo. It is a 1-base all-in. Alright. I think based on this positioning, I think this is going to be for a Warp Prism first, especially if we continue making Adepts. Meanwhile, MaxPax, he's going to be looking for the proxy. This is not a standard location. He's going to be checking here on the other side of the rocks, which is where it should be.
Glory to the Daylong.
Back at home, Stargate opener. Out of MaxPax, there's a shield battery, should be for a Void Ray. And we do have more Adepts. So I believe this should be for a Prism. And the goal here for Showtime is to drop the Adepts into the main and to get economic damage done. We'll see if he goes for an Immortal first instead. Yeah, there it is, War Prism. So this is a very different variation. It's going to be 3 gateways back at home. It is still all in, but because you open up Adept, the goal here is to cripple the economy, not to break the defenses. And the hope is that MaxPax is out of position, but he throws down a shield battery in the main. But this is a shield battery designed to defend against, like, Blink Stalkers. Speaking of, Twilight Council's on the way. Here come the Adepts, here comes the War Prism, and Showtime is going straight for the economy. This shield battery not within range to protect the mineral line. But there are Stalkers, there are Adepts. MaxPax, he has recognized what's going on. Yeah, Void Rays, they rotate around. First Adept is going to fall. But we're going to get some probes. We are getting economic damage done. Oh my god. 5 workers going down. Can we get a 6th? Up. Barely will not. Will actually. Oh my. Barely does get the 6th probe in the end. Not bad, but MaxPax still has the worker lead, and we have a 2nd Void Ray coming out. Behind this, it's going to be a Blink Stalker follow-up. Blink all in. Again, only 3 gateways here. We're not going for 4. But we already have that shield battery in position. This is still going to be a tough opponent to crack. As we have a 3rd Void Ray about to pop out. With 3 Void Rays, I don't know if Showtime can break him. I'll be honest. 3 Void Rays, that's a lot of firepower. Third Void Ray does arrive. We have cannons, we have shield batteries. We can blink into the main, that is true, but we have cannons and shield batteries in the main as well. Yeah, I don't know how we can really break this. Looks like our attention is on the main base. Blink is still on the horizon, so we can't dive in. Showtime is just threatening his opponent. Okay, no expansion, of course. It's all or nothing for Showtime. Looking at the units tab, we've got 13, soon to be 14 Stalkers against 4 Void Rays, soon to be 5. Now, the goal here, Showtime, he has to bait out the Prismatic Alignment. He has to bait it out. He cannot fight under Prismatic Alignment either, just because of how easily Void Rays just melt through, or just, yeah, cut through these Stalkers. Which is why it's going to be difficult to blink into the main as well, because the Void Rays are ready. And we dive in! There's the Prismatic Alignments. We're going to try to avoid them, and it takes 2 volleys. No, the Void Rays, they stand strong. They take 3 volleys! Showtime bleeding out a lot of his army there. And it looks like Max actually should be able to clean this up. Yeah, all the Stalkers are going to go down. There's only 4 Stalkers left out of 14. GG gets called, and MaxPax will tie up the series 1-1. We're going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Again, I appreciated the proxy robo into Adept Harass, but alas, it didn't deal enough economic damage. It didn't put Showtime ahead enough. And I think Showtime was maybe hoping that MaxPax wouldn't set up shield batteries in the main. But MaxPax was so prepared in the main base for a fight, and he wanted Showtime to blink in. That's what he was hoping for. That's what the Void Rays wanted as well. But crazy. Oh god. Crazy to see Showtime all in on Side Delta. Didn't quite work out. Wasn't expected to, but good effort nonetheless. And now we have an ace match. We're going into game 3. Here we go. And what kind of direction are we going to be going in game 3? So we're going to be loading into Hecate. There is a half gold base, which isn't a bad base to take, but yeah, I don't know if we're going to be going for a ninja base here, like we did on Equilibrium. I don't think it's quite as strong or quite as powerful, but we'll see. We'll see what kind of direction we go in. Spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Danish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Tying up the series 1-1. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the German Protoss representing Team Big, Berlin International Gaming. It is showtime. Oh, here we go. Once again, a gate expand here from MaxPax. Showtime opening up double gates. Again, I'm still shocked that Showtime opened up double gates on Site Delta. Like, it would have been a good opportunity to just go toe-to-toe with MaxPax. I think it would have been a good chance for Showtime, but alas, did try to go all in instead. And now, what do we have in store for ourselves here on Hecate? Now, the reason why I was fine with Equilibrium was because, again, we saw that even if MaxPax opens up more economically here on the low ground, you can take advantage of MaxPax by going for the goal base, which Showtime did to great effect. Here on Hecate, there's a half goal base, I guess. So because of that, it's not as impactful if we did try to take this as is natural. It's also a lot more exposed compared to on Equilibrium. Because of that, it is not a 2-gate opener. It's on the high ground, yes, but Showtime is looking to go for a gate expand. Okay, interesting. So the same build. Technically, it's the same build, except Showtime has a worse setup defensively at the natural. So mirrored builds here from our opponent, just different execution. Showtime making it look like he's going for a 2-gate opener. And both players are going to be looking to expand. Showtime just trying to be as annoying as possible. And there it is. He does force out the Stargate. Another Stargates are on the way. So I thought that the only map that we would end up in Phoenix Wars would be Side Delta. We have potential. Yep, they spot each other. MaxPax sees the Stargate. Showtime sees the Stargate. Both players should be expanding and taking their natural bases. We have the natural on the way for MaxPax. We have the natural on the way for Showtime. And we should be getting to Phoenix versus Phoenix. Oh boy. I knew that we would get it at one point in this series, but I was convinced it was going to be Side Delta. I guess not. But we'll see if we head in a different direction. Show us what you got. There it is. Phoenix is on the way. Phoenix on the way here for Showtime. We are locked into Phoenix Wars. It's happening. Again. First couple units are going to be duking it out. Showtime coming out worse for wear is going to have to respect the position of MaxPax. And the thing about PvP is that once you start making Phoenixes, you can't stop. It's not possible. There it is. MaxPax immediately going for a second Stargate. We should be seeing a second Stargate from Showtime as well. Oh, Adept does make it in. But this second Stargate from Showtime is quite delayed, actually. I'm a little bit concerned. There it is. Now it's on the way. But because it's so late, MaxPax will have just a higher Phoenix count to begin with. So Showtime is going to have to take a more defensive position. He can't be too aggressive. Otherwise, the defender's advantage is going to kick in and MaxPax can overwhelm Showtime. But yeah, PSA for PvPs if you're curious. Like, again, once you start, you can't stop. You gotta. It's an addiction, Papi, an addiction. But essentially, if either player stops making Phoenixes, they're gonna lose. They just die. There's no way to kind of get out of this. Which is also why it's really risky whenever a player throws down a fleet beacon, for example, because that does disrupt Phoenix production. Likewise, if any player tries to tech up into carriers, that's also a really risky moment, because they do also stop Phoenix production to make that happen. The other important thing about this is MaxPax does have a Phoenix lead, again, because of the faster second Stargate. He is ahead. He is going to be threatening the bases of his opponent. The other big thing about PvP here in this situation is stack defense, cannons, and shield batteries. Cannons and shield batteries actually do play a pretty big role, and they can make or break a fight for you. So even if you're down a Phoenix or down 2 Phoenixes, if you have an overcharge, especially early on in the first half of the game, in the mid game, and then you can take a better fight. So here we go. The Adept is going to be forcing the Phoenixes in, and Showtime is ready for it. Oh, sorry, MaxPax is ready for it. Be very careful here. Oh, just canceling those lifts. That was close. So basically what was happening there, MaxPax, he was baiting a Graviton lift from the Phoenixes, because that would mean 100%. Oh, that one Phoenix would not be attacking. And here we go. We committed. MaxPax, he does have the Phoenix lead. They will bounce off each other. Showtime looking to take a third base. Likewise, so is MaxPax, as he's going to be taking the triangular third. Showtime going for the linear third instead. Both players, they throw down their fleet beacons. And we are just settling into this. Yeah, that was a very tense moment. But I love to see the counter micro from Showtime just dropping the Adept as well. Dropping it just in time to make sure that he had all of his Phoenixes to attack. Again, these fights are on a knife's edge. Like one Phoenix over your opponent can just win you a fight and can win you the game. Which is why that was a really tense moment. Now with the Fleet Beacon, we have Phoenix range for both players on the way. Slightly faster for Showtime, but not the biggest advantage. As Showtime is actually taking the triangular third, not the linear third. Both players are still focusing on Phoenix production. No one has thrown down any shield batteries yet. Or any cannons. There's no forge. Just hyper fixated on Phoenixes. We actually can't get into any stack defense until we get 3 base saturation. The reason for this is because you actually don't have the money for it. It's very close, but right now both bases are still maintaining double star, like constant double star for Phoenix production. We can't let up. Cannot let up on the Phoenixes. There it is. Now that the thirds are being saturated, this is when we can start to afford a third Stargate. And potentially a Forge. Oh, we're going for a Mothership, actually. Okay. Rushing into a really early Mothership for MaxPax. Mothership can mean that MaxPax can recall, or he can be more aggressive. He has an extra recall available. He can also use Cloak. And that could be a game-winning move. Shield batteries are on the way. There is 0 detection, by the way. 0 detection for Showtime. We've seen this before, but this Mothership timing straight up can win the game. It's the equivalent of like a DT coming in and killing you. Like where instead of a DT, it's just a mass flock of invisible Phoenixes. So this is actually pretty big. And Showtime doesn't know. He's throwing down pylons. He's getting a third Stargate. And this, yeah, this could be it. Mothership's on the way. It's going to be able to cloak. And the Phoenix count is very close, very neck and neck. By the time Showtime kills the Mothership, he's going to lose like 4 or 5 Phoenixes. Like, it's going to be over. Like, there's no other way around it. He just hasn't been able to scan and confirm what's going on, and yeah, this may just be a sure thing. We'll see if Showtime can make some magic happen. Again, Showtime, he is ahead in Phoenixes, but that lead isn't going to matter much. Not against this. Okay, Showtime, he does have an Oracle on the way. Very important. Oracle is on the way. We need that revelation. As MaxPax pushes out across the map. And probes are going down. Mothership has been revealed. Yeah, there's the cloak, and 1 Phoenix goes down already. We do have the revelation. Is it going to be enough? We have the slow zone as well. MaxPax ahead in Phoenixes. Yeah, he's just bullying Showtime back. Yeah, it was too much of an advantage early on. Showtime gonna try and fight back here. He has the sentry to support as well. He does force Max back. +1 air attack is on the way. Big upgrade for Max. Max is ahead in Phoenixes, and yeah, without the shield battery, I don't think we can win this fight. The mothership was too good, Papi. It was just far too good. And Max, he's snowballing out of control. GG gets called, and Max will take game number 3 and the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Whew. Again, Max able to get into that mothership, able to support his army quite well. Sure, we had an oracle, we had a revelation, but alas, it was not good enough. And now we're getting into our next series. Max is going to be waiting in the grand finals. A big shout out to Showtime. He did very well for himself to make it into the ace match, and I still feel like we could have seen something very different out of Side Delta. Like I didn't quite like the all in on Side Delta, I'll be honest. I wasn't too fond of it. Wasn't too fond of it in the end. But regardless, GG, well played. Max will make it to the finals, and we're here to find out who comes out next. Who comes out next in this series? Who is going to meet him? Is it going to be Clem or Creator? We go. It looks like the players actually need a little bit of time. Oh, we don't want to be left behind. Okay, we're good. Vetoes are done, and of course, Clem and Creator, they've been patiently waiting here in the upper semifinals, and the question becomes, who's going to make it to the finals? Are we going to see a TVP or a PVP? We're going to be going for a short break, and when we return, we'll have the upper semi. So take this moment to hydrate your hydras, stretch your roaches, massage your marines, tuck in your tempests, and when we come back, we'll have our TVP. See you soon. And all right, okay. I forgot to do payouts. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals of KungFu Cup, round 6. The semifinals, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Club NV. It is Creator. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid, the only non-Protoss left in the tournament. It is Clem. And I do need to very quickly set up predictions. My apologies. Hold up. Okay, Clem is number 1, and Creator as number 2. You have 2 minutes. Sorry, a minute and a half upon hearing this message to place your bets in the chat for who you think will come out on top, who you think faces Max Packs in the grand finals. Up to you to decide. Meanwhile, I'm happy to cast Creator again. I haven't casted Creator in like a month. Like, it's not without trying. Like, we've been, as we do have an eBay vlog, but we do have a quick scout as well. A Creator already on it. He can pull some boys. He's not though. Okay, so he's going to allow this to get a little bit more progression. Zealot is on the way. Pylon is thrown down as well. But yeah, we haven't been able to cast Creator. He's been active, that is true. He's been in a lot of these online weekly tournaments, but we've been missing him. He hasn't been having the deepest of runs here in the online tournaments like KungFu Cup or Open Cup Asia, Open Cup Americas. We haven't seen as much Creator as we usually do, so yeah, I'm happy to be able to cast some Creator once again. You know, he's a very wholesome player. Do love to cheer for him whenever we can. And we'll see how far he can go. Already making it to the semifinals is very impressive. Creator, who did he defeat to make it this far? Let me just double check. And he took down Skillus and Estrella. Okay, so some Protoss players. But now, how good is his PvT? That is the question. I know the Creator, he has had things to say about PvT. It is not his favorite matchup. Double gas, sorry, no, wait, what? It was a Rax into factory opener into CC off of 1 gas for Clem. We see Creator is looking for any kind of proxy Stargate shenanigans. Doesn't want to get caught off guard. Zella dips in, gets eyes on the building CC in the main. Oh, he's locked in. No, there's no way out. What have we done? A Zealot will go down. Gets an extra swipe in 1 SCV, but Clem will hold. And basically, this build from Clem is supposed to punish the unnatural natural. We've seen this a lot from Clem, going for these early Cyclones, early Marine pushes. This was hopefully supposed to shut down, yeah, an awkward base, but Creator, he does have a shield battery on the way. With his first couple of units coming out, we should be able to hold on with the shield battery with the overcharge. So again, a very aggressive opener out of Clem. Does delay his expansion for this push. That does take some extra hits. Marines are going down. Again, we're just going to be dancing with the army. So far, Creator doesn't lose anything. He does lose some energy on the shield battery, but not much more than that. Clem is pushing once again. Now with the second Cyclone, is zoning the army away, but we have the overcharge. We keep everything alive. And Clem does bleed out a lot of Marines in the process. He wants more. Up. A bit of an overextension out of Creator. He's going to be losing an Adept. Almost loses a Stalker as well. Barely keeps it alive. Behind this Clem, he's getting his CC up and running. He's getting into his 2-on-1 setup. Oh, and even following it up with a mine drop here. It was spotted by the Observer. Good positioning out of Creator. And he is going to be able to zone Clem away. Oh, as we do go for the drop, the boys are being pulled and we do react in time, but 3 workers go down. We could even, yeah, we're going to get a 4th as well. Unfortunate there from Creator. as he cleans this up, but that's 4 worker kills and a lot of lost mining time. Damage was done. Behind this, it's going to be 4 gates. Oh my god, wait, 4 gate blink? Yeah, 4 gate blink out of Creator. We do have 1 tank in the main, bunkers on the way in the natural base. Clem isn't really ready for this, but the SimCity sets up just in time. Okay, we do have our tank. Creator, he dives on the tank as well. He does manage to bring it down. The SCV's gonna surround. A lot of stalkers are falling, and Creator, that was a costly dive. He is gonna be able to barely get out of here, but I'm afraid to look at the unit loss stat. That was 8 stalkers. 8 stalkers for 1 tank, for a couple of SCVs. I think Clem is pretty happy about that. He's pretty content about that trade. Meanwhile, we have a second tank here covering the natural. Creator even losing his observer as well. We can blink back into the main, but Creator, he's just been bleeding out so much. Yeah, now with 2 tanks, Clem should be fine. And Creator's in a really rough position. Like, it was just a very, very shaky execution of this attack. It felt like Creator was just losing too many stalkers in the end. And Clem, he holds. Clem maintains an economic lead. And behind this, Creator is expanding. Desperately trying to get a 3rd base up and running. Up. He's trying to bait out some shots. Attempting to bait out some tank shots. That's won't be able to get too many. We do have the prism set up to go into the main. But alas, the Raven does spot it ahead of time as well. And Creator, he has some catching up to do. Does have some catching up to do back at home. As we're going towards charge, so we're going for a big, like, gateway heavy composition. We're not going towards Colossus or Storm. No splash damage, just Swarm toss here. Blink Stalkers and Charge Lots, which isn't a bad composition, but usually you need momentum going your way if you want to make this work. You want to be very active on the map and looking to engage out of the center ideally. Meanwhile, Clem is working on a 3rd CC. He's up to 3 tanks. Yeah, there's nothing really too much to be concerned about. Clem, sure, he hasn't pushed, but he's up in army supply and he's waiting for his upgrades. We're just waiting for Stim, combat shields, and +1 to finish, and that is all wrapping up. That's all kicking in. And now we can move out. Meanwhile, I have some Auto Tartaras coming in towards that 3rd. Getting a couple of probes, pulling away the attention from Creator. Pulling away his attention. As Clem is going to be taking his 3rd base. The Prism does not get in. Oh, he wants it. No, it's sieged. Okay, the Marines, they do not get on top of the Prism. They do back off. Creator, he's coming in from multiple angles. He is the one who wants to dive on top of these tanks. The Widow Mines. Oh, they do connect with the Zealots. Not too much friendly fire. The Marines and Marauders are standing strong. They take down the Zealots, and once the Zealots go down, there's nothing protecting the Stalkers. And Clem will shut this army down. Yeah, this warping of Zealots was just a little bit too late. The boys are being pulled. And Clem may be losing some workers, but he shuts down the army. GG gets called. Clem will take game number 1. GG. Oh, again, just a rough execution of the 4-gate blink. Not just that, but even before that, Clem was able to get a lead here by going for that mine drop, by getting a lot of damage done. And he just, yeah, got a bit out of control there. Just was too much to handle. Creator could not keep up. GG. GG, well played. Ooh. And it's on Creator now to try to fight back here in this series. To try to force the ace match. I don't think that game 1 was like too indicative of the skill of Creator. Like game 1 was really rough to watch. Like it was, yeah, Creator kind of on the back foot from the beginning. I Again, a little bit sloppy when it came to the play as well. But we have seen Creator just pop off and look amazing. You know, I want to believe that we can see that here this series. I want to believe that we can fight back in Game 2. It's not on me. It's on Creator. It's on Creator to really turn it on, to really ramp it up. And show us why and how he made it to the semis. Let's go. Yeah, we can't afford mistakes. No mistakes. Not against Clem. Not against Clem. My neck is so stiff. We're getting GG. Gah, Bobby, gah. Yeah, I'm hoping we can recover here. As we're going to be loading in to Solaris. Solaris back. We haven't really seen too many games on this map tonight, at least. Not tonight. So plenty of Accione, plenty of Side Delta, Hecate, Oceanborn. Solaris, I think once, maybe? I think once. If that. Ooh, as this doesn't bode well, but it looks like someone may have lagged out. We're stuck on the loading screen, and if you're familiar with StarCraft, you'd know this, but yeah, typically you don't get stuck on the loading screen unless someone has failed to load into the game. There are a lot of people in this lobby. Who's it going to be? Oh, God. Hopefully the other casters are okay. I think we have some other language casters as well, not just Enki and Inu. Okay, apparently just Enki and Inu. It could be one of the players. Could be one of the players as well. Let's find out. Once we load in, we'll see who it was. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. So for those wondering, like on the technical aspect, how this works is in StarCraft, when you time out of it, like it's acting as if the person was like in the game. And you know how if you lag out of the game, like there's a timer, there's like a 1 minute countdown timer. So basically we have to wait for that timer to finish, and then the person will time out. Like the person's like in-game ID will time out. So that's just what we are waiting for. Waiting for the timeout function. And we may just remake, actually. Like if it's one of the obviously if it's one of the players, we will remake. Smooch, Poppy, smooch. Who is it? Up! Pommy! No! I think that's a French caster. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Or he may be a part of the WTL team. I'm not too sure. But in the bottom left-hand corner of Solaris, we have the South Korean Protoss player representing Club NV. Down in this series, it is Creator. And spawning in the top right, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. We go. As we do have Creator just going to be setting up here, going for a gate, Cybercore into Expanse, or Standard Opener. Probe is moving out across the map to scout to get a read of what's going on, and Clem this time is not going for an eBay block. He does not send out an SCV. Here we go. Probably is a rush one. Oh, okay. Thank you, Easy. Thank you for letting us know. Wasn't too sure as to which caster they were. Oh. But for now, Probe is going to be harassing, just being a little bit annoying. Again, there's no SCV this time, so Creator can get into a much more comfortable expansion, into a much more comfortable early game. And he'll have a stronger, a greater chance here at fighting back to making this into a series. I do hope so anyway. Okay, gonna be delaying the CC for a couple of seconds, but Clem does get it down on location. Doesn't have to lift it up, is not off center. Beautiful. And it's going for a Reaper first as well, so Again, just a Rax Expand, Economic Opener at a Clem. Nothing too fancy. Last game, we also had a single gas opener, but it was a Rax into Factory. Remember last game, Clem was trying to get an advantage with early game Cyclones, but he wasn't quite able to achieve too much. He got a couple of gateway units. He got like an Adept, but not much else. So Clem just going to be calming things down here in the other game, going for a safety bunker. Marines are being rallied down, and it's going to be on Creator to try and delay the expansion, but no, he actually doesn't go for an Adept. Creator is going for a much more safer opener, going for a Sentry instead. So more often than not, we see an Adept first instead of a Stalker. The Adept gets across the map, and ideally we delay the expansion, we kill the CC, and we take control of the natural. But Creator, he's just calming things down. He goes for a Sentry instead. We're going for a Hallucination Scout. So very safe, very defensive play here out of Creator. Twilight Council's on the way. And Hallucination is soon going to be upon us. As Clem is headed for a 1-1-1. No 3 racks. No 3 racks, not this time. Likewise, with this Twilight Council opener, last game we saw was 4-gate Blink. This time we have Blink once again, but we can go for a much more lighter kind of commitment. We can opt to go for a lower gateway count. We have 1 gateway in the main, we have 2 gateways in the natural. It's going to be 3-gate Blink out of Creator. As of course he does confirm the 1-1-1, confirms the production, sees the Widow Mines on the way. Oh my god, this is not just a mine drop, which I was about to say that we have confirmation of, but this is a committed mine drop with a hidden armory. Let's go. Proxy armory outside of the natural, outside of the main, here at the 3rd base location instead. And Creator does not have detection. He went for a 3-gate Blink opener into a 3rd base. Again, with 3 gateways, you have map control, and you can be a little bit aggressive, you can be a little bit assertive. But upon seeing the mine drop, Creator, he's in position to deny the mines. No Robo, no Stargate, gases are being taken, no Forge. This is brutal. This isn't going to kill a lot, but this is going to deny a lot of mining time. And here we go, we're boosting on in. The medevac may go down, but it's going to be worth it as the mines are burrowed. Ooh. 3 workers go down, and detection is required. Robo is on the way. It's going to take quite some time to get into any kind of... Oh, we have another mine drop on the way. It's going to take quite some time to get into any kind of detection. So these mines are going to reset. And this second mine drop is coming towards the natural base. No! It's on the way. The Stalker's going to try and slow it down. Blink is going to finish up in a couple of seconds. The mines will burrow. As they reset in the main, 0 mining going on here in the main base. Ay. This is devastating. Again, we're not killing a lot of workers, but we're denying so much mining. Observers on the way. I think we're going to get an extra shot off here in the main. And then here comes the rest of the build. Here comes the Bio Army for Clem. Mine shot's going to be going off. Oh, good retargeting. That's in the main base. We do get a couple of extra shots as well. 2 more workers go down. And then the drop heads towards the 3rd. Creator, he's out of position. He's busy dealing with all these Widow Mines. Another couple of workers go down. Ay. Okay, the mines finally do get cleaned up. Ooh. And yeah, from here, Clem is looking pretty good. He is ahead economically at the moment. Creator may be on 3 bases, but he has a lot of recovering to do. He has to build up his worker count once again. No! Who is it? No! Wait, what? I'm here! I'm connected to OBS. I've been disconnected to BattleNet. I have to surrender. What the hell? I'm right here! You can hear me! No. Yeah, look, I've lost connection to BattleNet. I'm connected. I'm connected to the internet. I'm on Twitch. It feels BattleNet, man. What the hell? Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. Feels bad, man. Well, we'll restart our client, I guess. We'll come back. It's okay. We have a clean feed. We have a clean feed. We're on our way. We're on our way. We do have a clean feed. Wait, did BNet go down for everyone? Okay. We're good. We are good to go, and let's get back into casting here, and I'll just set up the... Okay, there we go. Whew, we have a clean feed. So we're coming back in. It's all good. We're getting back into this. Sorry, I just... Oh, there we go. I'm just trying to log back into BattleNet so I can observe. Shout out to the WTL admins and organizers, by the way, as... Americas. Okay. Beautiful. As we are getting back into this... again, we did see Creator take a lot of economic damage, a lot of economic losses to Clem, and the mine drops, they keep on going. Thankfully, I did get disconnected from BattleNets when things were calming down. There wasn't like a big fight going on. There wasn't a big engagement happening, so we didn't miss out on anything as Clem is going to be pushing out. He is taking his third base at the same time. Clem has a massive supply lead, and he's going for a tri-pronged attack. We have a drop in towards that third base. Probes are going down. 7 workers in total. 7 workers in total. We get a mine drop into the main. I do apologize for switching the scene, but there we go. Mine drop into the main base. 7 more workers go down. Creator taking up into Storm, actually. Taking towards Storm, but Clem, he's here to pull him apart. He's here, wedging himself in between the bases. And he just dives straight for the third base. 13 workers go down. Shield Battery Overcharge is going to be able to allow Creator to hold on. He's holding, Papi. Hold on, I'm just logging in again. We're good. The buy drops, they're not stopping. We thought it was over, but they keep coming in. So you can entertain us fine with your witty repertoire. Oh, true. Wardy as well? Did Wardy DC? Oh. Feels bad, man. Yeah, I guess just something happened with Bina, but here we go. We're diving on in. Colossi is going to go down. We outposition Creator once again. GG gets called. Things just snowballed too heavily out of control. And Clem will take the series 2-0. Will take the series 2-0, and that means we have our finalists. Yo, what kind of music is playing right now? I'm digging this. Hold on. I was just not expecting this kind of music to be playing. Regardless, GG, well played. Clem does take down Creator 2-0. I apologize for like the scuffed game number 2 there, but BNet did kind of crash on us, and apparently it wasn't just us, also Wardy DC'd ourselves and maybe some other casters as well. But we have returned. We are back. We're getting ready for the grand finals between Clem and MaxPax. Oh. We tried our best to deny it. We tried to stop it. We couldn't. We couldn't stop it. Could not stop fate. Destiny from transpiring. As we get ready for those predictions. Clem versus MaxPax. Oh, look what... Okay, we have some new music playing. It's so wholesome. I feel like I'm playing like an indie game. Like an indie game where you're like an ant in the forest or something. And you have like a bright art style. Ah. I'm thinking of like Botanicula. Is that what I'm thinking of? Botanicula. Some kind of point and click. Ooh, but with that, we're getting ready for the grand finals. I need a moment here to set things up. Okay. Predictions will begin soon. Don't you worry. We're getting there. And I hope everyone in the chat is enjoying themselves. Max Facts, he has 2 hours to finish this until it's time for the ESL regionals. True, true. We will be casting the regionals as well. I mean, I say that. We're going to be co-streaming the regionals after I get some food. I'm going to be getting food first, and then we'll jump on that. As it was foretold, Max Facts vs. Clem, part 69. Oh my god. There've been that many editions. It's true, it's true. Nice. I mean, that's why it's so late here in Australia. It's 2 a.m. in the morning, prime time for some 69 content. Wait, what? Players just conducting their vetoes. They're just conducting their vetoes. I think it's about time to look at the Aligulac. Oh, actually, I'm curious. I'm curious how this has been going. I want to say that Clem has had the advantage recently. Let's have a look at the stats. Clem versus Max Facts. We have the numbers. We have the numbers back. Okay, here we go. In recent times, oh, it's been pretty back and forth. So in ESL Cup Americas, which we casted yesterday, Clem did 3-0 Max Facts. He 3-0 Max Facts. But hours beforehand, in the finals of the EU Open Cup, Max Facts took down Clem 3-2. Before that, Clem 3-0 Max Facts in the Warty Championship. We have... Actually, can I show this? Do I have the power to show this off? Let's have a look. Max Facts, run query. Alright, here we go. You may see nothing now, but I got you covered. Bam. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. Okay, there we go. On the left-hand side is this year. So we have Clem taking down Max Facts 3-0 recently. We have Max Facts fighting back as well in the EU Open Cup. And yeah, it's been very back and forth. Very back and forth between our players. It is 57%, 57% in favor of Clem this year. Oh, they played so... Look at this! They played so often! Oh my god. They play every week, Papi, every week. Ay, ay, ay. Every goddamn week. We are getting ready for the finals. I should have set this up a little bit ahead of time. It's all good. The players are just getting the lobby ready here. Game 1 is going to be on Oceanborn for our grand finals, a best of 5 for the ages. And we'll see how this goes. Also, how long until the regionals, by the way? Do you wish to know? as predictions are now open. Place your bets in the chat for how you think the series will turn out, whether this goes the way of the Max Packs or the way of the Clem. Here we go. As we load into game number 1. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. Ooh, he just took down Creator, just took down Oliveira. It is Clem. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. He took down Showtime to make it all the way to the grand finals. It is Max Packs. Go. I'm a little bit concerned. If this event goes on a little bit too long, we actually won't be able to cast. We won't be able to co-stream. So, oh, it's in 46 minutes. No, no. Okay, if this series ends in 46 minutes, then we can co-stream. Otherwise, we won't be able to. For those wondering, you're only allowed to co-stream the regionals or the ESL if you start from the beginning. You can't jump in like halfway. You can't jump in halfway, you can't jump in like, and you can't leave halfway either. Those are the rules, So we got 46 minutes. Otherwise, I may only co-stream the Americas region, not the European one. So we may just do that instead. Here we go. As for now, we do have a double gas opener out of Clem. Far more aggressive opener here from our Red Terran. Meanwhile, Max Packs just going for a gate expand. Oh, into a gate cyber expand. So again, very standard openers. Nothing too crazy. Nothing out of the norm in the early game. Nothing out of the norm yet. As we are just going to be getting into our factory setup as well. No eBay block, for example. No proxies. I'm just really looking at Clem more than anything because he's the player that did, of course, open up a little bit more aggressively here, but there's a CC on the high ground. He's not going for a 1-1-1. He's just going for a factory before the CC. Reaper slips into the main base, and we have our tech of choice. Max Packs is going for a Stargate opener, not a Twilight Council. Is going to go down. Please be considered on my lunch plan. Este slow, bro. I mean, if we can't co-stream Europe, then I can get some food. I can get some dinner. That'd be great. All will be well. As the Reaper, I believe, did see the Stargate. No, did not see the Stargate. So Clem is still in the dark as to what his opponent is up to. Whether it's going to be a Stargate or a Twilight Council opener. As the devs have hit the field. And we do have a Phoenix first from Max Packs. Okay, not an Oracle. More traditional form of Stargate opener. Should be Phoenixes. This should be leading into Colossus as well. We could see Charge instead. Max Packs has options as to how he wants to really refine his army and how he wants to build himself up leading into the mid game. So we could be seeing a Twilight Council with Charge, or we could be seeing a Robo with eventually a Robotics Bay. One or the other. Meanwhile, back at home, we're going to be setting up for a drop. Clem moving out with a Marine drop, a Widowmine mixed in as well. The Phoenix will miss it. Oh, just barely. As the Phoenix does threaten the main base. We don't really have much at home to defend. There's a lot of potential here in this drop. The Phoenixes will come across it, but one Phoenix does not have enough DPS. We do commit to the drop as well. Widowmine is going to be lifted and up, just barely burrow. Up. Widowmine will go down. Good control there at a Max Packs, dropping and lifting up at that Widowmine. Allowing it to go off. Reaper in the main base does get a couple of worker kills. But Max Packs is being cleaned up. 3 probes go down. 3 probes for a full medevac. Oof. I mean, does get a mine shot off. But I still want to favor Max Pax here. He shut down the mines, shut down the medevac. Max Pax doesn't lose too many workers, and now from here he can work towards his third. There we go. Third is on the way. Phoenixes are moving out, and they will come across this army. Clem has to pull back home. Doesn't want to overextend. I mean, I would just eat during the co-stream. Like I would. And the co-stream is more chill, so because there are other casters, so I can actually eat during the co-stream. So I'll eat nonetheless, regardless. We'll get food. It's okay. Clem is going to be pushing. There's got plenty of anti-air available here. The Vikings, they do zone away these Phoenixes. They're battered and bruised because of those Widow Mines earlier. And we don't really have much at home to defend. It is going to be Phoenix Colossus, by the way. There's that bay in production for the Colossus. And the Phoenixes, they do force Clem to turn back around as they threaten the main. And there isn't much at home to defend. 3 SCVs go down. Again, Max actually he barely had anything to defend back at home, but he forced back the army, killed some workers, will lose a Phoenix in the process, but he buys enough time for an Immortal, and soon, a Colossus, as a Colossus is in production. Now, what's important is that Clem may have been delayed, but he's reinforcing. Like, his macro hasn't really been stopped too much, and he has preserved his army. He's up to 4 Vikings, 2 tanks. Marines are moving out. Boys are being pulled. A couple of boys even. Just to repair. And this is going to be a tight hold for Max Pax. There we go. Bunkers are being thrown down. Phoenixes, they catch a tank. A big pickoff. A tank goes down. Ay, ay, ay. A tank for a Phoenix. They get a second Viking, and so much turns around to zone away these Phoenixes. And Clem, I don't know if we can really commit anymore. We're going for it. There's no other way about this. There's no third CC. There is a tank stuck back at home. Hopefully it can make its way across the map. But the Phoenixes, they catch more Marines. Finally going to be trading with these Vikings. With the Phoenixes, they out-trade the Vikings. GG is going to get called. We don't even get a fight. They didn't even engage, but Clem, he just runs out of steam, bleeds out too much, and Max Pax will take game number 1. GG. I was keeping my eye on the minimap. I was looking to see if Clem was going to like just dive onto the third base enemy, but no, didn't dive. He just was stuck out there with his bunkers, and yeah, just bled out far too much. GG, well played. Max Pax takes the lead. Takes game 1. Here we go. But this is a best of 5. A long series, Papi. A long series. We can still go back and forth. We can still go either way. Clem can fight back, I believe. I do believe. And game 2 is going to be taking place on Solaris. Let's go. Solaris is going to be coming up next. A bit of a more wide open map. A lot of bases to be taken as well. Could end up in the mid game. I hope so. As we load in and spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the best Terran player in all of Europa and all of Europe, representing Team Liquid down in this series, but it's okay. We can fight back. It's all good. It is Clem, aka Lem. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player, the best Protoss in all of Europe, representing Storm Gaming. It is Max Pax. Here we go. Probe is going to be coming in. It's going to be a little bit annoying here to Clem. Clem setting up for a Rax Expand. Oh, sorry, never mind. Is going to be taking his second gas in his main base. So once again, a double gas opener, just like game number 1. Is going to lead into a faster factory, and we saw that in game 1 it led into a mine drop, a mine marine drop, which did not work out. Clem, his opener led towards a drop that did fall in its face, and even here, Max Packs, oh my god, being so annoying. The probe. He wants the SCV. So much damage done on them, but doesn't kill anything, not yet. Rax is done. And probe is going to be sent away. Meanwhile, back at home, Max Packs. Okay, he cancels his zealots. Did have it on the way, but is going to cancel it. Going for his natural base. So just a gate, cyber, expand. Standard opener out of Max Packs. And we'll see what this factory opener leads into for Clem. Remember, game 1 was that drop that didn't do too much, but here in game 2 we could end up with some Hellion production, maybe a less committed mine drop. Early game cyclones. We'll see. They make schnitzels out of the Terrans. Ah, you make me want schnitzels. You're just making me hungry, Papi. Fun fact, I passed out after the stream earlier today because I was streaming on my own personal channel. I passed out and I woke up to a phone call. Kura was waking me up because she was messaging me about going live for KungFu Cup, and I woke up like 8 minutes before the cast, and I went live 5 minutes before the tournament started. It was, I almost slept in, Papi. Almost slept in. We made it, Papi. We made it. But I'm adjusting my sleep schedule for ESL Masters. For those wondering. I do plan on staying up until like around 8 a.m. 8 or 9 a.m. Because tomorrow we're going to be casting the B stream. Tomorrow we are covering the B stream for ESL Masters. So I do have to acclimate. And once again, Stargate opener. Stargate opener out of Max Packs. Phoenix first for a second time. Again, Phoenix Colossus is very standard for a reason. It's very meta. For those wondering, Phoenixes, they give you map control. As we saw in the previous game, Phoenixes, they shut down drop play, they shut down aggression, and they give you enough breathing room to take a third and to get into Colossi, which deals with everything else. As we're going for the same opener. Once again, Marine Mine Drop. The same build as game number 1. Clem is doing it 2 games in a row. We'll see if he can find some more success. As the drop this time is going straight for the main. Going straight for the main base. Does bypass the Phoenix. But there is a shield battery in the mineral line. Max Packs is going to be rotating over. At the same time, we have a mine waddling towards the natural. Widow mine is going to go down. Clem, he backs off. He has been deflected. Now, even though Clem didn't do any damage, he actually deals less damage here in game 2. If you remember, in game 1, he killed 3 probes. Here, he kills nothing. Up! Nice shot. Nice mine shot here on that Phoenix. This game he kills nothing, but he preserves his units. His medevac is still alive, his Marines and his Reaper are still alive as well. So he's able to muster up his forces, consolidate his army, and work on a later timing instead. So I do think that Clem is in a better position compared to game 1. Even though he did less damage. So we are getting into this. So I apologize. My PC just freaked out on me for a moment there. Hopefully everything is okay. Hopefully all is good. Yeah, like the command bar just opened up for no reason. I was like, what? So what happened? We're good. As the Phoenixes, they're just going to be containing Clem. We mentioned before that, again, Phoenixes, they do grant you map control. We do have a third Nexus on the way. The bay has been thrown down, and we're getting into those Colossi. Phoenix Colossus is upon us. But Clem, he's just powering on up back at home on 2 bases, building up his forces. We do have a observer in between the bases as well to catch any kind of move out. So ideally scout the expansion as well if Clem does throw down the third. So Marines, they do threaten these Phoenixes, forcing them back. Max back at home is able to get his third base up and running. Fully saturated. The Phoenixes, they find their way into the main. They got one SCV. Only one. And I'm still waiting to see the third base from Clem. He's still just focusing on a pretty big push here. Whacking goes down. Liberator into the main is going to get a lot of damage done. 3 probes. 3 probes and some mining time. And here we go. Clem is pushing. Medevacs almost get caught out. Almost do get caught out, but there it is. Thirsty Seed gets thrown down behind this, but this is still a very committed attack from Clem. He's still looking to break that third. And so far, he cannot. Again, the Colossi are ready for it. The shield battery is overcharged as well. Clem, he is going to respect that. And instead rotate around. He splits up his army. And he will deny the fourth. And again, what's important is that even though Clem didn't manage to get any damage done here at the third, he still has an army. Like, he didn't waste anything. Didn't commit to a fight. Preserved his units. As a result, Clem is still ahead in army supply. Meanwhile, Maxpack's being contained to 3 bases. But now he's up to 3 Colossi. We can start disruptor production. Prism is on the way. Clem slowly working towards his third. And doing everything he can to deny a fourth. Now, can he push into this army? Potentially, this Colossus is looking quite exposed. He dives in. He wants it. Up. And he will get the Colossus. A big misstep there from Maxpax, leaving his army idle and leaving that Colossus exposed as well. Unable to keep up with the movement. Big pickoff for Clem. Very good moment for him. That's like a third of the firepower gone from this army, which is pretty huge. Only 2 Colossus left. The War Prism is getting ready for a Zealot run by. It's going to be slow lots because Charge just now started. Phoenixes try to pick off whatever they can, but they do get zoned away. Up! Taking another. Oh my! Taking 2 mine shots to the face. Phoenix goes down. Clem is pulling Maxax apart. He goes in once again. He's going to be able to get the cannon at least. Gets a cannon, gets the Zealots. A Phoenix. Before backing off. Fourth base is on the way. Charge is still not done. This War Prism still doesn't quite commit. We also don't want to, not yet. Ideally, you go for a Zealot run by when Clem is attacking or when you're attacking. You want it to come in while your opponent is distracted in some way. So Maxfax, he's just building up his forces. As he moves out, Clem is pushing in. Here we go. We do have the Zealot drop into the natural waste, but an army is in position, and Clem is Maxfax is nowhere to be seen. He was out in the center of the map. Does turn back around. Looking to dive on these Marines. But Clem, he slips away. Doesn't get surrounded. Kites at these Zealots. Picking up a decent amount of them, and once again, a really good trade there for Clem. He went in. He dealt with some of the stack defense here at the third. Defended the drop. And Maxpax's army is still lacking because he lost that Colossus. And he hasn't rebuilt it. We have Disruptors on the way instead. 2 more Robos on the way for triple Disruptor production. But we're not there yet, and Clem is going to be the first to max out. He's got Ghost for EMPs. He's taking his 4th. 2-2 on the horizon. Nice EMP on that observer. Oh my god. Zwarty does end up leaving, but does Zwarty have, is he casting ESL Masters today? Because he would have to go live. So I'm pretty sure Zwarty has to cover ESL Masters, so he's off to cast another event. But alas, I'm sure his viewers will be able to catch the rest of the event elsewhere. MaxPax does go for a bit of his own run, but he does collapse on that CC. And he's buying quite a lot of time, forces the entire army of Clem to follow suit. As MaxPax finally gets his 5th base on the way. Actually double expanding, getting his 5th and his 6th. And the game has kind of settled down. The game has settled down from here. Both players are just maxing. 2nd starport on the way, ship weapons, a fusion core for liberators. Clem is just taking up even further. Still no major engagements. Still no major pushes. Up! Oh my god, nice dodges here on the Novas! But 3 Novas go off, they connect with nothing, maybe 1 Marauder. And we can dive on in, we can chase down this army. And the Disruptors are going down one after the other. Things are snowballing out of control. MaxPax, he's down to 2 Disruptors, losing every single Colossus. The Disruptors are about to reset, but big EMPs. 1 Nova goes off. The splits! Oh my god! Once again, Clem avoiding every single Nova. He dives into the natural. He's on top of the Robo, on top of the production. 1 more Nova will connect at the same time. Zelta wreaking havoc across the map. MaxPax, a little bit of a desperation move, but this is all he has left. As Clem has broken the natural. These Archons are getting in a lot of work. 26 SCVs go down. This is a lot of economic damage. But Clem, he can push into the main Nova. The splits! Once again. Avoiding the Purification Novas. We head towards the 3rd. And this is more important than the natural. Robo, another Disruptor does come out. Never goes off. Does not connect. The reason why this is more important because there's no Robo here in the main. The last Robo is here at the 3rd base, which means no more Disruptors. What you see is what you get. GG gets called, and Clem will take game number 2, tying it up 1-1. GG. He's going to ESL? Yeah. I assumed so. I did assume so. As that was a really strong game out of Clem. Like, game 1 was Clem being hyper aggressive. He went for basically a 2-base all-in, and he was shut down. He was shut down before he could really get anything going. Here in game 2, we saw a much more mature Clem, where he was kind of poking and prodding wherever he could. He was being very tentative with his army. He was never committing, never throwing anything away until that final big fight. That was like the only fight of the game. Before that, he was like harassing, yes, but he was always just ready to run away and ready to pull back until he had maxed out here with Ghosts, with Vikings, and he was able to just, yeah, pick MaxPax apart in that main army engagement. Really well done. Really solid play there out of Clem. GG. GG, well played. Ooh. And I do think that a lot of this is very map dependent as well. Solaris is a very large map, and it does allow for, you know, yourself to ease into the mid game and work with the room that you are provided. Oceanborn, much smaller map, shorter rush distance as well, so it makes sense for Clem to be aggressive on Oceanborn. Does make sense for him to be aggressive. Didn't quite work out, but it made sense based on the map. As we are tied up and we're heading into game number 3. As a reminder, best of 5. It is going to be a best of 5 between these 2 players. Oh boy, so plenty of games are ahead of us. And we most likely won't be able to co-stream ESL Masters Europe. We have at least 2 more games in this series, and we have 20 minutes until ESL Masters Europe. So we're probably going to miss Europe, but we will be co-streaming Americas. So we got you covered there. We'll be co-streaming Americas, pal. Those wondering what co-streaming is, basically we have permission to restream the main feed, of the Twitch channel of ESL, which means that we can, you know, listen into the casting and also add our own casting, add our own flavor to the stream, to the broadcast. We already did it for day one. We did it day one, but so far we've only done day one just because we've been casting the B stream, or we've been casting, like, typically we're casting other events like WTL. So yeah, it's not like we haven't been streaming StarCraft, we've just been streaming other tournaments. Like KungFu Cup, for example, which is why we wouldn't be able to co-stream today. Like KungFu Cup or WTL or the ESL Open Cups. Just been covering our own events. But here we go. We're loading into game number 3. Just need a moment to set everyone up. And it's going to be on Hecate. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Hecate, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. Ooh, tying up the series 1-1, it is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Yeah, it is cool that they allow that. I know Raynor's been doing it. I'm not too sure about any other people, but I know ourselves and Raynor. I try not to be too critical. There were moments in day one of co-streaming where it was Wardy and Loco they were casting, and there were moments where I was getting frustrated because they were either tired or, like, you know, they were disinterested, and then I just yeah I just muted and I just started casting games. It was I remember it was who was it? It was Cyril and Raynor's matches. It was Raynor versus Spats and Cyril versus Arcfire. I remember those two, and also Eggs versus Cham in ESL Americas. And I think those are the ones where I had to step in. But outside of that, good casts. Good casts. As Clem is going to be going into a hidden Rax. Bit of a fake proxy Rax here from Clem. Essentially just trying to get into the head here of MaxPax. This is something that happens quite often in this matchup, where the Terran player, they can throw down their Rax either further back in their main, or in the natural, in the linear third, or in the triangular third. It will eventually just float back home. It's just a way to fake out a proxy, basically. And to get into the head of MaxPax. If Blizzard have you hostage. Hey. Don't have me hostage, but it's StarCraft, papi. So I have to do look, if Blizzard aren't gonna support StarCraft, someone has to, okay? That's where we're all stepping in, papi. We're all stepping up. Whether it's here on the Cranky Ducklings, you know, Wardy, Roddy, the other community casters, Dave Testa, Chicken Man, much love to the other community casters out there alongside us. And we gotta do what we can. Blizzard isn't doing it. Let's be real. Doing what we can. So really it's the opposite, you know. I chose to put myself in these shackles, you know. I've tied myself up. It's okay. I like it. I like it, papi. Don't worry about it. As we're getting into our openers, MaxPax once again going to be going for a Stargate opener. He's done so every single game so far into Phoenixes. So Phoenix into, I imagine, Colossus. Same thing every game so far out of our Protoss player. Meanwhile, Clem mixing it up, going for a CC on the high ground. Was a double gas opener into a 1-1-1. Oh my, we are going for another drop, but a very different drop. There is a Widowmine, yes, but we're getting into a very early Cyclone. So Clem looking to be a little bit more assertive and a little bit more aggressive here in the early game. We'll see what he can get done. As the drop is moving out, has been spotted by the Phoenix, already taking some hits. Robo's on the way for eventually Colossus production. The medevac does barely avoid the Phoenix, by the way. Does manage to get to the safety of this Cyclone. We're pulling our forces together. We're headed towards the natural base. MaxPax has missed this, but he's aware that this is a drop, so he's pulling back home regardless. Shield battery is ready. Overcharge as well. And Clem, he doesn't end up catching a Phoenix. I'm sure he wanted to. He wanted to catch a Phoenix if possible. He's checking, he's looking behind this very fast third CC. Oh my god. The fastest we've seen this entire best of 5. Very fast third here from Clem, getting into a faster third. He's marauding around, but it looks like he's not committing. He doesn't want to push into a base. Again, he's just hunting down Phoenixes. Speaking of Phoenixes, they do move out, but they don't quite get caught by Clem. So he does come back home. And MaxPax gets ready for his third base. There's a safety immortal, there's the Robo, and there is the robotic Spade. So once again, Phoenix Colossus. 3 games in a row. I mean, it's a good composition. It's good. It's a solid stuff. MaxPax not really shaking things up too much. Working towards his third. MaxPax does have map control, and once again, even though Clem was hunting and looking for some Phoenixes, and even though he didn't find any, he just pulls back, and again, he's going for his own economic opener, so Clem, he doesn't have to commit. MaxPax, he actually made a second safety immortal, something you do not see too often. So MaxPax, he's a little bit afraid. I feel like this gives us a little bit of insight as to his mindset at the moment, but this is very safe, and this does delay Colossus production. As I do see MaxPax pushing out. He does get eyes on the third CC. So he is aware that Clem wants to expand. I imagine that may also be why he made the second immortal, because he wants to delay the expansion for as long as possible. He wants to apply pressure. Oh, as the Phoenixes, they do bypass the army to get into the mineral line. 4, 5, 6 SCVs. 7 SCVs and a mule. Now, can we punish this? We get 1 Phoenix. Only 1. Oof. A rough trade there for Clem. An amazing moment here for MaxPax. As he dives in once again, he gets a Viking. Gets 2 Vikings for 2 Phoenixes. You can see MaxPax is in position to deny the third. But after losing too many Phoenixes, yeah, I respect this. We back off. Back off. We don't want to throw anything away. And Clem will get his third base up and running. Oh, these Phoenixes, they're doing so much here. 2 more workers go down. Clem just having a hard time keeping up. MaxPax is upon seeing the third, takes the fourth. Gateway explosion, charges on the way. And this game, MaxPax has been able to achieve a lot more in the early game. He's been able to pick away at the economy, able to pick away at the army. This is something that MaxPax couldn't do on Solaris. He was really struggling to pull that off. On the mine! Okay, very good. So mine is ready. MaxPax will run back home. But again, back at home, we're just building up our forces. We have 2 Colossi, soon to be 3. Once we get 3 up and running, we can get into Disruptor production. Oh wow, the self-bond. Oh. You're an animal, Nidstack. You're an animal. As we see, Clem just going to be threatening a dive. He scans, he sees the 4th base is done. He also sees all 3 Colossi and both Immortals as well. So Clem, he's aware of the army, and I imagine he won't be pushing without EMPs. We have Ghosts in production. Similarly to Solaris, I imagine that Clem is just going to be turtling. And there we go. We have a 4th CC on the way. I say turtling, like he's going to be active with drops, but he's not going to be committing to one big push. MaxPax though is. He still wants to be active, he wants to be aggressive, he's moving out with his army. We have a Zealot runway on the right hand side, which is spotted by these Vikings. The Colossi are in the dead center of the map as well. We have a Zealot runway on both sides of the map. War Prism coming in. The main army threatening a dive through the center as well. So we'll see if Clem can keep up, because we have a tri-pronged attack essentially. As MaxPax throws down 2 more robos, so this is going to be for triple disruptor production, just like the previous game. 3 disruptors at a time. Now we'll see if Clem has done his stretches. We'll see if he's ready to split again, just like game 2, which was wild, by the way. He avoided most, if not every single Nova. Did not look easy. Here we go, Zealot runway is coming in. Gonna be dragging the army towards the left. So let's get cleaned up, and there we go. That is a Q for the right hand side. But likewise, Clem, he did leave an army in position. He saw these Zealots earlier, and he will shut them down. Good cleanup, but here comes the main army of MaxPax. Clem was a little bit far back, but he does hold. Does manage to hold on. The Vikings, they turn back around. They have to deal with this drop. The War Prism will fall. And yeah, really impressive. Clem, he kept up with everything the MaxPax had. Up! Nova connects with the Widow Mine. Not much else. Zealot runway comes in on the right hand side, but we have a bunker in position with repairs. The bunker will hold, and Clem, he's chasing down the Colossus. The Vikings, they get 1. They take down 1 Colossus, and they're going to get a 2nd as well. 2 Colossus go down. Disruptor goes down as well. Ay, ay, ay. MaxPax is bleeding out too much. Clem is max. MaxPax is down in supply. But he is still making 3 disruptors at a time. Things are looking a little bit dicey, but here come those reinforcements. Here come those balls. Decent EMP on the Stalkers. Oh my god. Clem playing with fire. Avoids the Nova. Avoids at least some of them. Does take one to the face, at least a little bit. Does graze him, but we're pushing on through. Is also coming from behind. We're setting up a surround. And the Nova does take down some of the ghosts. It looks like Clem should have a little bit too much, but we have reinforcements coming in. The Zealots. They do push the army back. Some friendly fire takes down some Zealots as well. But Clem does lose his footing. Again, he lost too many of his ghosts. That Colossus barely does survive, and MaxPax holds. He does hold. Any lesser player, I think, would have died then and there. And now, Clem has to back off, take a moment to breathe, and consolidate his army. Likewise, so does MaxPax. Now, what's important is that neither player lost workers. Neither player really lost any workers, so they both have a solid economy. They can both remax and rebuild. +3 is on the way. The disruptor count looking quite high. We are up to 7 disruptors. Again, both players have remaxed. Zealot runway coming in. DT's even on the right-hand side. We have Dark Templar threatening. MaxPax taking another base. And Clem is committing here. He's going for the bottom right. Likewise, Cirque and MaxPax. Novas will zone Clem back. And MaxPax, he can gain army to that base, gain access to that base. Oof. Good connections, good Novas. They take down so many of those Marines, and MaxPax, he's forcing his way into this planetary. But across the map, Clem, he's pushing. He's not slowing down. Yeah, and he forces a recall. Bottom right-hand Nexus was denied. But because of that recall, MaxPax, he can't keep pushing. And you can see MaxPax just plummet in supply. Oh my god, he lost a little bit too much. It's taking him too long to rebuild. Then once again, split pushing. Still a lot of disruptors. Now, what's scary here is that we are transitioning into Liberators, and we don't have an answer for that. Despite the amazing economy that MaxPax has, because he's been trading, he doesn't have a bank, which means he hasn't been able to get into Skytoss. No Skytoss from MaxPax. And once the Liberators arrive, Clem can be much more assertive. God, that's a lot of DTs. Oh my god. It's a lot of Dark Templar party. Did you get revealed? Zealots are going down. Big MP once again on the DTs. The probes! Probes, they run past the army. Good target firing on that Immortal at the same time. On the left-hand side, MaxPax gaining ground. Pushing towards that planetary. It is 6 disruptors. Still have plenty of Novas available. But we're making 4 Liberators at a time. No! Miss Rally! No! We can't... Okay, we're good. He notices. God, this is quite expensive. A lot of DTs! So many Dark Templar. Now what's worrisome is that the Liberators on the right-hand side, the Immortal is going to go down. Big Nova to the face! Max actually pushes towards the planetary, towards the 4th. Out positioning Clem. At the same time, Clem also pushes towards the 4th base of MaxPax. With the DTs, they go for a big counterattack. Good target firing Clem. He dives on the disruptors and he takes some Novas to the face. A good trade overall, but these DTs are getting out of control at the same time. Liberators also pushing across the map. It looks like MaxPax is losing too much. Things are getting far too chaotic. Yeah, the disruptors are all going to go down. They're exposed. There's nothing to protect them. We have Dark Templar, but the Liberators, they come back home. The Vikings land as well, and this is the final army of MaxPax. No more Robo units, no more disruptors or Colossi. The Dark Templar get cleaned up. MaxPax, he did save his base. These libs not in the best position. There we go. But Clem, he maintains most of his armies pushing out. And MaxPax, he's stuck with only Stalkers and Zealots. 1 Immortal. That is it. Can push into this. Just rely on EMPs. We only have 1 ghost. Uh-oh. Only 1 ghost here for Clem. But he is maxed out. Zealot Runby runs into the reinforcements. Clem was ready for this. Cleans up the Zealot Runby. GG gets called. MaxPax has run out of steam. And Clem will take a 2-1 lead in the grand finals. GG. Again, really good engagements overall. Really good teching as well, just because Clem was able to take some better fights, was able to take some better trades, and of course think further ahead. MaxPax was stuck with a mid-tier army, or a mid-game army. And, yeah, it was, just because of how large this map is, just because it's so difficult to defend some of your fringe bases, MaxPax was kind of forced all in, pushed up the ramp into the natural, and did not have enough to break Clem. GG. Also, a big shout to Clem and how he handles disruptors. Like, it's really impressive, really impressive. Clem, maybe it's because we haven't seen too much of Bjorn recently, but Clem, he's looking so on point in TVP. I guess all the constant practice against MaxPax, it helps. It does help. We go. Oh, I see Mannerless in the chat. You're living up to your name, but watch yourself. I'd rather not have that kind of tone and toxicity in the chat. Shaking my head. I mean, he is mannerless. I guess it makes sense. No manners, Papi. No manners. So we're getting into our next game. Max Fax turning into the Protoss 4 GG. True. True. As we're getting into our next game and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alcyone, we have our French Terran player, the best Terran in all of Europe, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss, representing Storm Gaming. It is Max Max. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a Nova. True. Oh, as Clem is going for a bit of a proxy. Let's go. Is going to be setting up some proxy racks. And so, fun fact, there is a Reaper Cliff here. There is a Reaper Cliff right next to this triangular third base. So you can take advantage of that with your proxy Reaper. Only one SCV though, so this actually isn't too committed. Isn't too committed here. As we have a proxy racks being set up. And going to be going across the map. Truth in advertising in 2023. Oh, it's crazy. Crazy. Not like this. But yeah, Clem, he should be getting a factory back at home. Again, we only have one Rax. Reapers will slip in. And the goal here is to get an economic lead in this game. Not to kill Max Pax by any means, but just to get a lead in this series. As the probe is just going to be confirming, of course, that we have the factory on the way. So he's aware that it's not a committed proxy. We have the Zealot moving across the map, and the Reaper is on the way. Making its way into the main. We'll see if Max Fax can avert disaster and avoid too much damage from being done. We have the Adept being chronoed out. Zealot is out on the map. It's not back at him to defend. Probes should fall. How many, though? That's the question. How many probes will go down? Oh my god, as that Reaper takes a lot of hits and will escape the clutches of that Reaper, of that Adept. Second Reaper is on the way. And so far, Max Fax doesn't lose anything. Really solid defense. Did lose mining time, that is true, but hasn't lost a probe. Meanwhile, that first Reaper has been joined by a second. Oh no, oh, no! The Adept commits to the shade and is out of position, but we do have a Stalker just in time. Clem is going to be forced back. Doesn't lose anything, but is forced out of the natural. And I kind of want to give the edge to Max Max. Clem, he committed to a proxy, and it didn't do anything. It did lose mining time, that is true, but didn't really kill any workers. And ideally, we want to kill a couple of probes at least, as it is racing back home. And Max Max is able to enjoy his 2-base setup. And he finally switches things up. Oh my, it is going to be a Twilight Council opener. Not a Stargate. This entire series, every game so far. I think that's why someone kind of referred to Max Fax being like 4GG, I think. But every game so far, Stargate. Stargate into Phoenixes, into Colossus. Phoenix Colossus, every single game. But we see what Max Fax is known for. Blink Stalkers, Papi. Let's go. How many gateways? We have 1 in the main, 2 at the natural. Are we going to get into 4-gate blink? I hope so. Max Fax has the best 4-gate blink in the world. But this is looking like a 3-gate blink opener instead. There's wondering 3-gate blink leads into a faster third, or it just leads into a third base. You have enough for map control, but it's not too aggressive. As Clem is setting up for a mine drop. We have Reapers on the right-hand side. We have a mine drop in towards the natural. And we'll see if MaxPax can keep up. The Reapers do distract. Up! MaxPax, he does notice the mines. He pulls back just in time. Looks like we will get a mine shot in the main base. So no, we pull the boys. No! Ooh, big connection. 8 probes go down. Things were looking good, but MaxPax got a little bit too greedy. He decided to attack the Widow Mine, and it did not work well for him. One Widow Mine even escapes as well. And MaxPax is in a rough position. Again, it is still 3-gate blink, so he should be working on a third. He's making a War Prism to get across the map, but he can't be too aggressive with this. Which means Clem should be safe. We have tanks being set up, bunkers as well. MaxPax is moving out, but he's going to have a hard time dealing damage. And he needs to. That's the thing. He needs to get damage done. He needs to somehow punish Clem. Clem pre-pulling SCVs. Taking this very seriously. I think this is a bit of an overreaction, to be honest. I don't think we needed to do this, but there we go. The Stalkers, they just avoid the bunker, go straight for the natural. They get 3 workers. Not bad. MaxPax is expanding, taking his third. MaxPax even commits to the shade into the main, but he will be losing that adept. Let's at least scout the main base. Good target firing, almost takes down the Raven. MaxPax, he is doing counter damage. Is still behind, but he's getting damage done. Lost mining time, a couple of SCVs, a depot. It's something. And is going to rotate into the main base as well. Oh my god. As he gets a couple of workers, but takes a lot of hits on that prism. Behind this, the Widow Mine job comes back in. The retargeting. Oh my god, the unburrow, the reburrow as well, as we just force so much lost mine time. Finally, the shot goes off. But what mattered there was that these probes were not mining for so long. MaxPax, he dives into the main. But the Marines are in position. No. Stalkers are going down left and right. That was an expensive, that was a rough trade for MaxPax. He loses 5 Stalkers and almost the War Prism as well. Good Clem, he was waiting for it. He baited it in. And this 3-gate blink was supposed to punish and contain Clem, but MaxPax, like, Clem is just getting further ahead. Like, it's becoming too much. Autos harass as well, killing workers at the natural. Gonna be threatening a dive into the main. Max actually just been bleeding out too much. He still has high ground vision with that observer. He can try to blink back in, but Clem is waiting for him. And I'm just waiting for the move out. I'm waiting for when Clem decides to push. Third TC is on the way. He scans the third base of MaxPax, sees the saturation. He's aware of it. Now, he does have to be careful with the move out because MaxPax is ready for a run by. Yeah, Zealot's ready to dive in. Charge is done. And Clem is set up here, back at home. He's got a bunker, has a tank, reinforcements. And MaxPax, he's committing. I mean, if Clem moves out of position, this run by could do a lot. Could achieve a lot. As the fourth base has been spotted, and Clem is going in for a drop. Going to be sneaking towards the third base, and does MaxPax see? He does. Oh no! No reaction! 6 probes. Ay, ay, ay. As the Widow Mine can actually reach the mineral line. Raven get ready to dive in once again. Zealots have been spotted. 6 more workers. As Clem, he's looking for that War Prism. He knows that Zelarumba, it's somewhere. Just doesn't quite know where. There we go, the Prism is moving in. Do we have anything at home to defend? We still have that one bunker. Oh, Zelarumba as well. But Clem, he's so far ahead. He's up 40 supply. Viking will chase down the War Prism. And can Clem be stopped? There's a smash damage. We have one Colossus on the way. It's in production. Widow Mines do go off on that Prism. At the same time, there's a Zelarumba, but we have plenty at home to defend. The Zealots, they do nothing. The Robo's depowered. The Colossus will not arrive. And Clem is looking to take it all here. He's looking to snowball out of control and become this week's Kung Fu Cup champion. MaxPax, again, he just had a rough start to this game. The Mind Drop got too much done, followed by the Ravens, and 3-gate Blink, it bled out more than it really achieved. MaxPax, he just couldn't deal any counter damage. He was caught off guard time and time again. And GG is going to get called. Clem takes the series 3-1, takes down MaxPax, and he is this week's Kung Fu Cup champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Clem, as of course he makes it through. That is 2 series in a row. The last 2 best of 5s that Clem has played against MaxPax, Clem has beaten him consistently. 2 tournaments in a row, 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row. GG, well played. Congratulations to Clem. My condolences to MaxPax as he does bow out. As he does bow out from the event. And yeah, I mean, a good performance, you know, to make it all the way to the finals. MaxPax did very well for himself going this far. As we quickly do have a look at the bracket as a bit of a reminder here. Oh, I should get rid of the content box. But yeah, Clem, he did well for, sorry, MaxPax did very well for himself. You know, he was able to take down players like not just Showtime, he took down Bjorn, took down Shin and Mana as well. So MaxPax, he fought well here. Did fight well. GG, well played. Congratulations. And I hope everyone in the chat enjoyed themselves as well. Hope you all had a great time. As yeah, this is always a great tournament to watch and to cast. The Kung Fu Cup, it brings together players from all over the world, you know, the Koreans, the Europeans, and here we even got to see a lot of Korean on European action. Did end up into an EU versus EU finals with Clem and MaxPax, but it's hard to stop that. It's hard to stop, and yeah, it was a good tournament overall. Very well done. Currently, we do have another event going on. ESL Masters has started. There is Spirit versus Rainer in the first round. Oh my god. As the first best of 3. I wanted to co-stream. I wanted to co-stream this tournament, but it already started, and the rules are that we have to be there from the beginning, and I think it's a little bit too late for us to start co-streaming. So that means I'm going to go get some food. And I will be co-streaming ESL Masters Americas. So after Europe, after the European regionals, the Americas regionals are going to start. So I'll be diving on top of that instead. Unless I get told otherwise. So yeah, with that we are done. Again, if you enjoyed the broadcast, we cover this on a weekly basis. Every single week we're live with the WTL Kung Fu Cup, so we got you covered. And if you want to follow us, we have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have YouTube, we have Discord as well, so you can follow us on all the social media platforms. Gonna commentate Americas. I'll do that for the Americas, the Americas. Choose a prediction outcome, Clem. There we go. So you can follow us there if you wish on all the social medias. You can also follow myself. I do stream over on my own personal channel, light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I stream whenever I can. I was streaming earlier today, but I'm usually live here on the Cranky Ducklings, and we'll be live again in a couple of hours. ESL Americas isn't scheduled to start for how many hours? I think like another 4 hours, right? Yeah, in 4 hours time, yo, we got Scarlet, we got Kelazur, we got Estrella, Eric as well, of course. So in 4 hours, this channel is going to be live again, co-streaming ESL Americas. We did just miss out on Europa. We missed out on Europe, so won't be covering that. But stick around, we're also going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Going to be raiding another StarCraft streamer. I'm not too sure who, but we'll find someone to raid. Obviously, the main event is going on, and I'll link it in the chat. We'll link it in the chat. But they have plenty of viewers, and we always try to raid a smaller streamer. We always try to raid someone with less viewers, just to spread the love and to give a little more support to people that need it. So yeah, we'll find someone. We will find someone. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for spending time with us here for the KungFu Cup, and we'll see you guys in 4 hours for ESL Masters Americas. See you then. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao. Ciao.